Warglaive.
I think that says Seneschal.
Pure Flood Essential with Thara darts. So I don't want the darts, that one looks a bit shit.
Whatever looks cool.
I like the Warglaive because it looks like the Banshee Exarch.
Yeah.
With the big fucking... But I also like the lady with the little, like, Raphael's daggers. They're quite cool as well.
Yeah? Yeah, I like that.
I need to find out if the rules make any
mini
difference.
trident, one would say.
A trident? I need to find out what the rules are because that might... If there's rules for them in full-blown AOS.
Yeah.
I think there should be rules for them in full-blown. Lumineth Realm Lords, Faction Pack, War Scrolls. What are these things called? War Dancers, aren't they?
I feel like you're taking these cold opens to a new level by just flat ignoring the fact that we're live now.
River Blades, is that what they are?
Yeah.
The River Blades, unit details, keywords, abilities, melee. They only have one weapon, so it's fine. It doesn't matter what we do.
Yeah.
Apart from the darts.
Yeah.
So we'll just build whatever. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining us on this grim Thursday here in the south coast of the UK. It's a bit shit. It's a bit rubbish outside, isn't it?
It's a bit grim, isn't it?
It's a bit rainy.
Yeah. Grim dark.
I fully intended to sit in the chairs today and do the Liam and Joe show from there. And then Joe messaged me when I was on the way over and was like, what are we doing, in the chairs or at the table? I was like, it's dealer's choice, mate. You go for it. What would you rather do? Oh, hang on. That didn't work. Why is that one not working? Why is that one not working, Joe? I was like, what do you want to do? And he said, I'd rather build some models. I was like, okay, let's do some models.
Yeah, I like building stuff. I mean, it saves me a lot of time in other places, like in my normal day-to-day work life.
Yeah.
You know, what I can do here and now saves me time at my painting desk. When I could be painting now instead of building, which is very exciting. If you can like and subscribe now that Liam is trying to fix the buttons. I don't know if he has done them at all. He's just kind of bimbled off. Please like and subscribe. You can also support the channel by super chatting and gifting memberships.
I fixed it.
Just like Mr. Liam and Russ has done. He's
I
gifted.
fixed it, yeah.
He's gifted by super chatting.
He's gifted by super chatting.
Yeah, he said, what's going on here? Are you and Joe still going to the Mikey event? If so, you could submit your list on BCP now. Best of luck in the Dempsey team. Should go out for dinner on Friday.
Yeah, we should. That sounds like a good idea.
Where should we go? Do you know, I haven't had an Indian for a while. Or Thai. Thai's nice.
Anywhere where I can have like a steak or something, because protein.
You can have a steak at Thai.
Not in Indian, they're not really. India's just fatty food, isn't it, mostly?
But delicious.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not delicious, Joe, but I'm trying to be a bit good.
I'm sure Sheffield has a steakhouse.
Yeah, you're probably
There's
right.
lots of hills there. They could just go and punch a cow and just be like, boom.
So that means that we are here at the table because Joe decided he wanted to build some models, and I'm not against it. I've got the hype at the moment. I'm fully invested. I'm fully enjoying myself. So I have decided, and I don't think I'm going to get them ready in time for the specific thing that's happening. But I have decided I wanted to build the War Dancers, the River Blades, from this particular box set, right? This is the Warcry, Pyre and Flood box set that came out a little while ago. And the River Blades are they're like fantasy harlequins, essentially.
Yeah.
But that's because on the 27th of the month, we welcome to the channel again, Mr. the Peachy. He's back. That's really cropped in. Why is that really cropped in? Mr. Peachy's back on the channel, and he's coming with Warcry. I was talking to him this morning. He's coming with Warcry. He's bringing Warcry warbands with him. Why is that zoomed in so far, Joe? What have you done?
What? I ain't done nothing.
Nobody tells me nothing. There we go. Mr. Peachy's coming back with Warcry. He's bringing warbands. He's bringing the rules. He says, I've got everything you need. You don't need anything until. So I was like, cool, I'm into it. Let's learn some Warcry. Because I've never really been interested in Kill Team, but I am kind of interested in Warcry.
Yeah?
Because most people that I know that have played Warcry have got really good things to say about Warcry.
Yeah, I've never heard anyone say anything bad about Warcry.
Yeah. So
this model doesn't make sense.
Yeah, thanks for letting us know about. I'm going to probably annoy the shit out of Mikey to prefer leaving us because he'll be like, Liam, you haven't submitted your list and the event's tomorrow. I'll be like, yeah, so.
Yeah,
that's,
you're like the worst version of anyone that goes to tournaments.
Why?
because as a TO, that's literally the most annoying thing that you can do.
The last time I went to one of Mikey's tournaments, they supplied me with the army.
When you're running a tournament and someone who's going just flat ignores everything, it's grounds for just shunning them.
Mikey was like, what army do you want to bring? This is the last time I went. What army do you want to bring? I was like, whatever you're going to provide me. So I turned up and they gave me a fucking Eldar army to use. Didn't even take an army. I don't care about winning though. I'm not a person who wants to refine an army list over the course of fucking 6 months to go to a tournament and win. I'm like, I literally want to turn up, have something where I can roll some dice and give my opponent a fun game. Yeah. Don't care about winning, drink beer.
Yeah, but the problem is if you have this blatant disregard for not logging into the app and putting your list in and stuff, it means you can't start the event properly on time.
Oh no,
You're literally holding everything up.
It was done. It was in on time. Because I just got him to do it for me. So he put it all in like 2 days before. It's like, there you go, that's your list. You can see your list now.
You're such a diva.
I'm not a diva because
it is a diva. You're like, I'm so important, I can't be bothered to do the job that everyone else has just done anyway.
That's not what happened.
People like you are literally the worst.
I didn't want to travel an army. I just wanted to turn up and enjoy myself, Jay.
Well,
I didn't want to do like literally the conversation we had before camera. I might go to Hellstorm and go super try hard.
I might go, yeah. And just be like,
what's this? That's
just go to win.
There's a skeleton head just pinged across the table. Is that yours?
What?
One of yours?
That is one of mine, but I don't know why. No, I'll submit my list in it after the stream. It says, thank you, Chris Galloway, for 5 gifted memberships.
You fucking legend, Chris. Thank you, man.
I hope.
Oh yeah, some hopes. Let's do some hopes.
I hope next time you're cooking pasta or like spaghetti and you forget about it, by the time you come back, it's like still okay and not just gone really just like gooey.
Yeah?
Yeah, I hate that when that happens. Thank you, Brandon Lagasse, for 5 gifted memberships.
Thank you, Brandon. You
I hope next time you get like a cornetto-based ice cream. The ice cream goes all the way to the bottom. They do just fill it with chocolate.
You lot have been smashing out the gifted memberships to start this month. Thank you so much. It means the world to us. I was talking in Thanes today about how we might be able to do even more to give back to you wonderful, generous people who are constantly donating and supporting us. I love you. You're amazing. Thank you so much.
And then thank you, Kazarian. Says Chinese tonight in the name of democracy manifest.
Fuck off. I know what you're referring to. You can fuck off. All right? Or I'll call you a different name.
No, there's that man died, didn't he? What?
I thought he was referring to something different.
No, it wasn't. There's a guy who was being arrested. So you arrest me whilst I'm eating my Chinese meal, my succulent Chinese meal.
Okay, I thought he was referring to something else.
No, you're fine. But now people will wonder.
Yeah, well...
But no, he died. He's like, he passed away recently.
Okay, I apologise, Kaz.
But I would only know that. I only know that because of a group chat that was talking about it this morning.
The Thanes? We've got more Thanes lists today.
Joe, can you put your list in the Thanes? I can tell you it now.
For what? For Hellstorm? For Borstorm Wargaming?
It's super cool and super original.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it like the list I told you to change for tonight?
No, that's a different list. So my list is Captain.
This is actually going to be a good segue into the topic. Go
Captain with a jump pack, Gabriel Seth, Sanguinary Priest.
So 3 captains and a chapter master. Good, good strong start.
Yeah, and a Sanguinary Priest on foot. Because according to Warcom's posts, ever since the days of Horus Heresy, Sanguinary Priests have never had jump packs.
No,
we'll glide past that. Thank you. I said thank you as if I was going to read a thing out, but no. And next comes in my battle line is 10 assault intercessors, so Gabriel, Seth, and the priest will join the intercessors. I've got 15 assault intercessors with jump packs and 3 units of 5. 2 units of 6 blade guard, so a captain on foot joins each one of those. 5 sanguinary guards, so the captain with the jump pack joins him. 5 scouts to hold objective, to hold the back line, and then 2 Land Raider Redeemers. So Seth, Priest, 10 intercessors in 1 Land Raider Redeemer, and then 12 Blade Guard and 2 Captains in the other Land Raider Redeemer, and then I just go forwards. Quick game's a fun game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it'll do well, or do you think it's going to get...
It'll either do real bad, or it'll be quite oppressive.
So let's talk about...
It's going to go one of two ways, essentially.
Yeah. So let's talk about the topic of conversation for today that I've picked. I'm taking tonight off, chat, right?
Yeah. Because he's lazy.
For a couple of reasons. Joe's off next week, so I can't have any time off next week because he's off. I don't get much time off anyway. Tonight's one of those days where the stars aligned. Brom, Joe, Kyle are all free, and so I'm going to take tonight off because at the moment I feel a little bit like I am skirting along the lines of burnout constantly. I don't think I'm ever going to hit actual burnout. I don't think that's a problem or a risk, but I feel like I'm quite tired quite often. There's a lot of reasons for it. I've massively increased my physical output over the course of the last 3 months because I was becoming a big fat blob. I've improved my diet, come off caffeine. There's a lot of reasons for feeling tired. And I think part of the burnout is because I've been trying so desperately hard to enjoy 40k, and it probably hasn't come across on stream, because the second we start talking or playing it, I just find myself getting really angry, wound up and annoyed by it, because I think the game is in a bad place. Now, the idea of this stream isn't to hate on 40k. That's not the point. I need maybe help isn't the right word, but I want some input from you wonderful people about the world of Warhammer 40k and specifically our content. And so the reason for this stream is I think by just flat continuously playing Pariah Nexus or Leviathan, and we have slowly but surely over time escalated into the point where we've got 45 captains on one side and 25 war bosses on the other side, and it's just not fun and interesting. Everything's a copy and paste. Everything's as powerful as it possibly can be, and then we end up in situations where even Brom's winning by 80 points to 20 over the course of a game. And I think that's part of what's leading to my burnout, because I feel like the game isn't fun anymore, and everyone's on super tryhard mode all the time. And so I feel like we then have a duty, a responsibility almost as a channel who's trying to, push the garage hammer vibe, enjoy ourselves and have fun. We have a duty to perhaps wind it back a bit and find the fun in the game again. I've said to a lot of people that the reason why I've been able to tolerate it for so long is because of the people I play with, and that's 100% true. If it wasn't for Joe and Brom and Paddy, people like that, I absolutely wouldn't be have been playing it for as long as I have been doing.
Yeah.
They've allowed it to stay fun. But I feel like now we're past the point in just the other player not being a dick means it's fun. So what can we do for content that makes it more fun and interesting? And I feel like there's two answers here to this. I feel like there's an answer which is for pre-recorded, where potentially you and I can start filming on Monday afternoons. I've just engaged a new editor.
Yeah.
I'm planning for him to come and visit the studio so we can work out a workflow. Yeah. So when he gets hold of the footage, he knows what to do with it, because I'm giving it to him in a logical format. So I feel like Monday afternoons, Joe and I could start filming some pre-recorded stuff. And perhaps that's where we could bring in a bit of a narrative campaign, where we grow a story or something. I also want to focus on live, where live can be fun and interesting, because fun and interesting on live is what typically harnesses engagement and therefore ultimately revenue for the channel.
Yeah.
Open and honest about it. If you have a fun, engaging stream where people are laughing and joking and getting involved, it makes more money. I don't think that's news to anyone. And so I don't want you lot to just be super chatting and gifting because you feel like you should, or because it's the thing that you've done for ages, and because we tell you that we can't do it without you. Although that's true, we can't do it without you. I want you to be super chatting and gifting memberships because you're engaged, because you're having fun, because you enjoy the content. And I feel like we've been missing that mark lately. And I watched some of last Thursday back, where I was a massive salty dickhead in the first 2 or 3 turns, and it's because I don't like the game. It's because I don't enjoy the game right now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I could just continue to whine about it. I could continue to whine about 40k, or we could figure out different ways of playing where we can enjoy ourselves. I think the biggest one for me is about potentially building narrative scenarios, Joe.
Yeah.
Where we've got World Eaters facing off against Tyranids. What narrative can we spin? Can we set our own custom missions and objectives?
Yeah.
But I don't know what you feel about it, or how you feel about it.
Well,
whether you felt the same as me, or whether you're like, no, I'm enjoying myself still.
I still enjoy playing 40k. I still enjoy playing it, but there's a difference between enjoying playing it and people watching it. Like, I enjoy playing some games which It's not an enjoyable game to watch. That's the problem.
40k?
Yeah.
Okay.
I still like the tactics behind it. I still like the idea of like making the right lists, but also making the right list for the person, not one that just smashes everyone all the time. But you still want it to do well. But the problem is the way the game works now. It's just a case of like, I've got this unit because it does this. I've got this unit that does this. I've got this unit this. I've got this character that does this kind of thing. Which doesn't really, I think...
It just encourages high proficiency the whole time.
Yeah. Which some people want to see, like competitive players want to see the most efficient version of stuff because it'll help their game and their tournament. But it's not entertaining. You know, people watch television program and sports because they're entertaining. And when those sports become less entertaining, people don't watch them, you know? That's why football is popular, because it's just an entertaining game to watch. But the thing is, though, I think to make the game entertaining, doing narrative stuff, you do have to move away from the reasons why people watch it in the first place. Of, like I said, like why people want to get their armies better. And a lot of people that do watch YouTube videos online are solely watching it because they want to make their tournament army good.
I don't know if that's our audience though, mate, I'll be honest. So if we find random people come and join the stream, there is a possibility that a random person has seen Orcs versus Flesh Terrors or Orcs versus Blood Angels, and there is a possibility that they're going, oh, I wonder what list he's taking. I wonder how he's built his list. What can I look at so I can see if mine can be more optimal? Yeah. I think our core audience isn't that person though.
No. Like I want to, but I think to have narrative stuff to happen, we probably need more narrative style terrain. For definite.
It's amazing you say that, Jay. Yeah. There's boxes of it in the studio.
Yeah, but it's all just same other stuff that we've already got in it.
No.
There's only so many times we can use a bunker and a sky shield landing.
So you're saying I didn't buy over a table's worth of custom printed Eldar terrain?
Yeah, but you don't play Eldar anymore.
No.
It's like, oh, we've got a bunch of people fighting on Eldar planet. I was like, no, they left ages
Well,
ago.
I mean, to start with, it can still work for Drakarian Harlequins, which do feature on the channel. And secondly, I could bring Eldar back if I'm toning it right back and not being like Avatar, Overwatch 6s every time.
Yeah, but you don't know how to do that, though, do you?
I absolutely do know how to do that, Jay.
I've never seen
When I play with people like you and Brom, I can't.
I've never seen you do that.
Because Joe's like I'm pretending to be narrative. Here's my super optimized list, which is just 3 of the same thing. Oh, look, I'm laughing as I'm pushing your shit in 3 turns.
Yeah, but I bring a super narrative list of 40 intercessors for Flesh Terrors with chainswords.
Mm-hmm. Why might that be? Because they're good. So you always disguise it as narrative, but I'm not. As an experienced player in this game, Joe, we're all fully aware.
What is a narrative Flesh Terrors army?
We're all fully aware.
Tell me now
how
out loud,
bullshit that is.
Tell me out loud what a narrative Flesh Terrors
army is.
I'm
going to take 40 intercessors with chainswords because they all get +2 strength, +1 attack, and +1 rend. So actually, they're super powerful.
But that's their army rule.
Yeah, but you have to learn to tone it back.
Yeah, but a narrative Flesh Terrors army is not 40 scouts, is it?
No, correct.
So is the problem with the game now that if narrative for some armies is overpowered and narrative for other stuff isn't?
Well, so narrative is, I agree. Yeah. I absolutely agree with you. 100%. Yeah. I think narrative for certain factions, you can. I think for certain factions you can absolutely be like narrative, and you're like, yeah, and it's dick kicking. And then for other factions you be like, it's narrative. You're like, yeah, it's dog shit.
Like if you bring narrative,
I completely agree with you there. By the way,
if you bring narrative Black Templars,
you don't run a librarian.
You don't run a librarian for a start, but you go Grabaldus, Helbrecht, and Horde Crusader squads and Templar Brethren, which is just really good and really efficient. But you can't run a narrative Banshee Temple because you can only run 30 in a character.
I think it's harder to run a narrative Banshee Temple, 100%. Yeah. But to your point, I absolutely think you're right. Like to say you just need to run narrative lists is actually not a true fix for the game in general, because certain armies, when you run true narrative, are super fucking powerful. Yeah. Like Blood Angels at the moment, if you run Blood Angels all jump infantry with bolt pistol chainsword, it's actually super fucking strong. It's really fucking good.
Yeah, but that's what people want.
Is it?
That's what the narrative is. That's what the story is. What are Blood Angels known for?
So people
Jump infantry.
People say they want narrative, but if that narrative means that there's a complete mismatch on the table and one of them just going to run through the other in 2 turns, I'm like, that's a dull game.
But then it's a case of like, do people want narrative armies on narrative terrain, or do they want a narrative matchup with non-narrative armies?
Well, that's our job to balance, unfortunately.
Yeah. I think the problem is the people will never be happy. And
I mean, that's a fact.
And you'll never be happy.
I'm always happy, mate. I'm always happy.
He's not. He's a miserable cunt.
There's been things going on over the last week that have got my back up a little bit, that's true.
Is it?
I'm not going to talk about it.
Is it Brom?
A little bit.
It's always Brom.
It's shitty and grin. I was about to say, anyway, to you guys, like, you tell us. Tell us.
Yeah, so thank you, Crubbits Pan says, rental armies is a fun concept, actually. Maybe one for a store that opens someday.
Rental armies? Yeah, we're planning to do that.
You think rental armies is a good idea.
I do, yeah.
Your business partner think it's a good idea.
I do.
I think it's an awful idea.
Why?
Right? Because people are thieving bastards.
Yeah, but...
And they don't treat stuff well.
Well, the treating stuff well's not a problem because we end up with someone who's employed who just fixes and paints models.
Yeah, but I don't want my job to be... I think I'm jaded by this because I'm going to be the one that has to build and paint the armies, and then I have to be constantly replacing units that people have stolen.
Yeah.
And then it just becomes a drain on
I
the company.
actually don't think people will steal. I'm more concerned about breakages than theft.
Right. And like...
Especially depending on how we take deposit.
If you're running pure Games Workshop plastic models... Like, it's fine, it's easy to recoup losses, or if models get broken, they're easy to replace. I think if you're using 4-drop models, I think it's lunacy.
I don't think we'd use 4-drop models, Joe.
Because they would just disappear immediately.
I think it also depends on how you run the deposit system, though, right? So if you run a deposit system whereby you hand your fucking bank card over and you sign a waiver that says accidental breakages will mean a charge of X, where the charge isn't very big, but it's a little bit of recouping costs because I understand that accidental breakages happen, and I'm perfectly okay with the fact that people accidentally break things. How many times have I gone to grab a model and I snap a fucking spear because I've got giant ham hands and I'm like, Joe, you need to fix it before stream. It happens all the time. If, however, something goes completely fucking missing, at that point we are recouping more than the cost of the kit because we also have to recoup the man hours to build, paint, replace.
The thing is, though, what do you do
at that point? That discourages people from.
But what do you do in
pocketing.
a situation, for instance, like say you lend someone an entirely 4-drop Krieg army, and it comes back, it's missing a Malkador, and they go, and you go, "Where's the Malkador?" And they go, "I don't know."
So again, there's absolute ways to mitigate it. Yeah. So when you hand the army over, you sign a form with everything that's included in that army.
Yeah.
And they go, yeah, I agree, that's all there.
Yeah.
It's no different to taking out a hire car, right? There's ways of mitigating your concerns, absolutely. That being said, I do not think for 1 minute we'll be signing over a full resin Krieg army to a person to play with.
Yeah.
That shit would be in a cupboard up here, locked.
But do you then, the armies that you hire out, are they highly detailed painted armies, or are they just bog standard?
Battle ready, Joe, I think, to start with. I think that's fair. Like, the fact that you'd be able to play in an event with it and not lose any points because it's battle ready would be good enough. The sort of painting standards that we do for things like the Dark Angels on the channel, they're never going to win a painting award. They're also not bad. Nice, clean, crisp, good paint jobs, looks good on the table as a cohesive force. That's all we need. And yes, that is a compliment to your painting I'm putting out there right then as well.
It's not. He only does this in front of people. He never actually... He never says any nice things.
Behind closed doors with the cameras off, I spit on it.
Thank you, Christopher Sanford, Police Station, Gloucestershire.
Thank you, Christopher Sanford.
Oh, captain, my captain.
Yeah.
So, right, so this is an issue with army building in general.
Oh, this is a good conversation, actually. We talked about this before stream. Go on.
Right, so we talked about why are characters in 40k terrible? Why do I have to take 3 captains and a chapter master when in the last edition you could only take 1?
Yeah, you're only allowed to take one captain.
You could take a captain and a chapter master, but you couldn't make multiples.
Yeah.
Right? And why are characters in Age of Sigmar better? And the difference is what they got rid of from 9th edition into 10th edition was characters had orders. Characters like auras. Right? So characters currently in 10th edition that are good. The Lion, Abaddon, Calgar.
Yeah.
Right?
Characters with auras.
Angon, because they've all got auras. Abaddon, out of the list of those ones, can join a unit and still has an aura, and his abilities don't affect the units in, it just affects everyone within 6 inches. So what I think they need to do to make characters better is go, the captain's abilities are now 6-inch auras, and then you could only take one captain. Because before, if you took a captain, he had a 12-inch circle, essentially 6 inches in all directions, so that he could cover that section of the table, which meant that Space Marines fought as a little cohesive force that went around. I get Games Workshop were like, well, if you have a character in each unit, those units can split up and do stuff and be a strike force. But the problem is that you end up with these completely just mental armies that don't make any sense.
AOS do it differently, though.
Yeah.
They have auras, but if you look at AOS auras, the majority of them are wholly within.
Yeah.
Which I like. And even when you select a unit, you normally select a unit wholly within.
Yeah.
And I actually kind of like how that works. So the character is typically going to be nearer to the unit because he has to be able to be wholly within, right? I think that little nuance change is to start with, I found it annoying at the tabletop. Like, oh, I'm within 6. No, you have to be wholly within 6. So you're like, fuck! Because I'm so used to 40k just being within 6. And the more I've played it, the more I'm like, I actually think this is a very clever, a very clever mechanic that they've built.
Yeah. So like, Evil Bear Wargame says auras cause bubble hammer, but as someone who's fought in the British military, and as someone who is aware of tactics, does a force fight better when it's working together than spread out over a large area?
Well, yes. It depends on what's operating.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah. So your force is better when you've got a command structure surrounded by people. So I don't have an issue with that, because in the current edition, having bubble hammer is not a problem because the area you're fighting over is so much smaller. So you're next to each other anyway, right? And then you've got the little scout units off doing like actions and stuff. I think the biggest fix they need to do in 10th edition to start making it good is change characters to auras. Have them still join units, but all their stuff be an aura, and then put limits into what characters you can have.
I like that. Like, I think that's quite a nice way of going about it. So a captain has a 6-inch aura where he can use a stratagem for free. So he can go, like, I'm with my intercessors, I can point this in a blade guard and go, like, you boys need this order right now.
And before it's, but that's broken, that'd be mental. Don't forget, Tyranids can do it in 12 inches.
Yeah, and then also
With Hive Tyrants.
I also like the concepts, and this is where I'm talking about us then managing ourselves when it comes to content in the future, right? So if we deploy a narrative game and we're running Flesh Terrors and we're running them into Tyranids, for example, because Blood Angels Tyranids is quite narrative. Maybe you and I can do this when you're back off of leave.
Yeah.
So Blood Angels can't have more than one captain.
Yeah.
Tyranids can't have more than one Hive Tyrant.
Yeah.
Because that's narrative.
So, because the great way they balanced Tyranids in 9th edition, and they got rid of it, I don't understand why, because it was a really great narrative finesse rule, right? Is that you had the hive mind. So what you could do is that you created a leapfrog effect between units. So you have one character here, Hive Tyrant, represented by this tall pot of glue, right? And then you have a unit of Gaunts here within 6 inches. And then you have another unit of Gaunts here within 6 inches. And then you have a unit of warriors here, 6 inches, that one. And then you create these like chains that go around the table. But you can have a unit here outside 6 inches and another unit with them, but they're in their own little hive bubble. So what it meant that a Hive Tyrant could issue a unit, reroll ones to hit, that's within the hive mind range. So you could go, these warriors here get reroll ones to hit, or a Swarm could give reroll all hits. But you could issue it to them, because they're not in range of the hive mind in this little conglomerate here. And it was such a great rule.
It was a cool rule. I agree.
It was a great rule. And then Games Workshop ruined hive mind.
I absolutely agree. That was a cool rule.
Yeah.
Narrative.
Yeah, narrative, and it made sense. And Games Workshop, much like all the good rules in 9th edition, they just abandoned them for anarchy. And I never understood why. So like simple stuff like that. So it means that like Space Guard have the order system, which works perfectly fine. And so you don't have to take loads and loads of characters. The only character you have to take out multiple times in guard is a Castellan, because he gives Kassakin sustained hits. And that's about it, really. But it just seems to be the problem with Space Marines, Chaos and
I do want to sort of slightly counterpoint your guard argument. So I don't disagree with you entirely, but the guard argument kind of falls down a little bit simply because the orders are all a bit shit.
Oh yeah, so in 9th edition, you had officer orders, tank orders, commissar orders, right? So tank orders could only affect tanks.
Weird though, isn't it?
Mental. Guard orders affect all infantry and sentinels, and then commissar orders, where though tanks and infantry commanders had 6, commissars had 3, which was normally get back in the fight, so fall back and charge. Or one was the one which helped leadership, and I can't remember what the other one was. He's a nice model, isn't he?
Fucking stunning, mate.
Yeah, I just think that they need to fix how you build armies as a start. And that'll fix the...
So this is part of the conversation we had before stream. I told you guys that we had a conversation pre-stream, right? AOS has for those of you that are 40k fans who haven't watched any of the AOS content, AOS has a slightly different list building mechanic. So when you build your list in AOS, you have a thing called regiments, right? You can have 1 to 5 regiments. When you select a regiment and you add a regiment to your army, you have 1 character, and then you can have 0 to 3 other units, and those other units are restricted based on who the character is. If it's your general's regiment, you get an extra unit because that's your warlord, right?
Yeah.
Now, I would go as far as to say at the moment we're already seeing that typically the majority of players are aiming for around 3 regiments to get to 2,000 points.
Yeah.
The reason why this is important is when you hit the deployment phase at the start of the battle, you can deploy a regiment as 1. So if you have 3 regiments and nothing outside of those regiments, when you then deploy your army, you have 3 drops, which means if you win the roll-off and deploy first, you guarantee finishing deploying first. And if you finish deploying first in Age of Sigmar, you choose who goes first and second. So there's now impact on the game based on how you've built your list, right? Which I think is important straight away. Now, if we look at the regiment system, most regiments, when you pick a hero unit, a character essentially, to go into that regiment, just allow you options in terms of other units. Some specific heroes do allow you to add other heroes in, but they still take up one of the slots of the other units, of which you can only take 3 or 4. So I was theory hammering Lumineth lists yesterday based on what I've got built at home already. And what I love about it is, I'm like, I don't want to take that character because then I can't take this character. But if I take that character, I unlock Stone Guard. I want some Stone Guard, so I need to put that character in there. And there's actually, what I found interesting, I've whinged like fuck for ages about granular points in 40k and it making the list building less fun. And I think that's true. I think like the lack of granular points has made list building less fun in Warhammer 40k. But why am I still enjoying list building in AOS when I'm not enjoying in 40k when the points are the same? They're both stupid power levels, right? Part of it is because I don't want to pay the same for 5 bolt pistol chainsword death company as I do for 5 power fist and furnace pistol death company. I think that should be different. But actually the main reason is AOS presents you a challenge. Typically you're going to have 3 to 4 characters and a bunch of other units to make up 2,000 points. How does that look for you?
Well, I think obviously the AOS team have clearly looked at the game as that you're playing a battle, but you're playing a small part of a larger battle, right? So in your area of influence within, I don't know, a square mile or a square kilometre that you're playing in as part of a larger battle, there might only be 2 to 3 high-level characters there and then a bunch of supporting units. It's more of like a little skirmish than an actual large-scale battle. 40k, you're playing on the same area, but you've got the entire command structure of 3 Space Marine chapters and then 4 squads.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You've nailed it, Joe.
Yeah, and it doesn't make any sense.
And there's nothing that discourages you from doing that.
No. So you can literally just run an army of Space Marine captains on foot, jump packs, Terminator armor, and 6 chaplains. No, 9 chaplains as well.
Now, although I love the fact that it's kind of a little bit of a your toys take what you want, I'm a fan of that. Your toys take what you want. AOS has got a similar kind of end result, but with a different approach, which still means there's a challenge. And it's so at one game you might choose to take a Stoneheart King in your Lumineth, so you can unlock your Stone Mages and stuff like that. Not your Stone Mage, your Stone Guard and stuff like that. The next list you might be like, you know what? I don't want to lose a detachment that's got Teclis in it, but I actually want to swap out the Stone Mountain, and I want to take in instead the Hurricane stuff.
Yeah,
the guy with the big bow. So it presents you a bit more of a challenge in terms of, and also, I don't know if this is just me, I don't know if you're finding the same, I find typically AOS units are a little bit more expensive, and so you get a little bit less, which makes that challenge even harder again.
Yeah, and what I could fit into my 2,000 point Marine army is mental. Everyone complained that Land Raider Redeemers went up, and I'm like, cool, I run Space Marines, man.
But
everything's really cheap.
But I think we can solve some of this in the way in which we present our lists and put lists forward. It does mean, if you're watching the channel on Thursdays, there's a strong possibility you're not going to see the most powerful combination of units on the table, but it hopefully means that the two players playing end up having more fun.
Yeah. So, we might, depending on the scenario.
So Brom and Joe's lists came through this morning in the group chat, and I was like, I miss when 40k was fun. And they've both changed their lists. So instead of multiple war bosses and multiple captains, it doesn't really happen anymore. In fact, Joe's gone borderline Highlander for tonight.
I have gone Highlander.
You have gone full Highlander.
So nothing repeated. I do have 2 chaplains, but one's on foot and one's got jump.
I love this.
Yeah.
I think it's great. And the second I saw your list in Brom's list after, I was like, there it is.
Yeah.
My boys.
But Brom's still running Orcs though, so.
Yeah, I did want him to run multiple different units on the night where I am going home early.
Yeah, that's what he wanted. He was like, I
want you to still be here on Tuesday when I come back.
So I want this game to go on till 11:30 because it's going to last a while.
True,
Thank you. So one is super chatted, and then it says message retracted.
Who was it? Who did
it doesn't even say. Just thank you, kind stranger. Thank you, Smavin. Have a go at warhammer Horde mode, co-op mode.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to. Thanks, Jake. I love you. I've seen you talk and rave about it at the Thanes. I don't want to step up. Like, I'm okay with building narrative scenarios within GW's rule set. I don't want to step away from GW's rule set. It doesn't make sense as a channel to do that.
Yeah.
Also, I'll be straight up with you. I know you've raved about it. I had a look at it because you've raved about it, and it doesn't appeal to me at all. I think it looks awful. But that's personal preference. That's not me saying it's bad. I just don't like it.
He's saying you're bad.
I'm saying you're bad.
Yeah, is what he's saying.
Fucking Australians. Coming in here, being upside down.
On that, drinking all that Foster's.
Drinking all that 4X, Castlemaine 4X.
Yeah. Thank you, Lehman Russ. My list for Mikey event is Khan, 2 Masters of Executions, 30 Berserkers, 3 Land Raiders, and Jackals. Wasn't that the list I said last week?
That's fucking cool as shit, though.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm pretty sure that's the list I told you to run last week. But it is a great list. And I love it,
Lehman Russ. I love it.
Thank you, Chaotic Failure. I'd be all over pre-recorded narrative campaigns. They were my favourite from before the divorce. They're the only reason I'm a mini wargaming vault member too.
Oh.
For life.
Well, look, the biggest problem I have with pre-recorded content in general is I fucking hate editing. When I'm learning a new skill at editing, I really enjoy it. And sometimes it takes me hours and hours and hours and hours and hours to work out how to do some little thing, which I'm then really proud of, and then no one notices because most of you don't notice because TV, etc., is so highly produced nowadays that when little things are improved upon, most people don't spot it. Once I've done that the first time, however, I'm then bored of it. I don't want to do it again. I've figured out how to do it, and then doing it for every video afterwards becomes monotonous and becomes a bit of a ball ache because I don't have the skill set, the knowledge, or the ability necessarily to make it something that is very easily transposable to other videos, etc. So there's a new editor we've engaged recently who has worked on the Mikey episode, which should be going up this weekend, and I'm quite excited to be working with him. Warhammer fan, channel fan. What a fucking legend overall. And I've spoken to, so he's currently, he's just edited the first saga, very happy with what's been done that I've seen so far, and suggested that we might be looking to move into the pre-recorded battle report type stuff Would he be interested in that? Like I said, I need to get him down here so we can work out a workflow. The last thing I want to do is dump 8 hours of content on him and be like, turn that into a battle report, and he's got no idea how it gets put together.
Yeah.
So we need to work out how I can make sure that when I give him all the footage, it's in a logical order, it makes sense, because if I turn his workflow into 20 days work, I then can't afford to pay him to edit it because editors need paying, right? That's the thing. And I'm not about to crowdfund 160 grand for any member of staff. So
It was only 60.
I'm hoping if this goes forward, that will mean that on a Monday, if Joe and I spoke about it in the past, after the 6 weeks holiday here in the UK, on a Monday, it's possible that we can both make it to the studio relatively frequently. We have spoken about this, haven't we, before I selling you down the river in front of everybody. Don't lie, Joe.
We haven't spoken about it, but you know.
Well, I mean, we have. Literally, when we were in here cleaning the other Monday, we spoke about it.
It's fine. I'll just talk to the family.
And then hopefully that means that we can start putting together. It doesn't, and it won't be like, we're not talking like play on or tabletop tactics level of narrative of loads of extra fancy, because that's not us. But even if we play a series of games between two armies, it tells a loose story whereby each battle's win or loss impacts the next one a little bit.
Yeah.
That's cool, right? Yeah. That's something we can do. It's a little bit of story. It's the sort of shit you play with your mates at home, rather than it's just, we're playing Pariah Nexus, yay! And everyone's like, yay, I wonder how this is going to go.
Yeah. I'll win.
I mean, that's the record hasn't shown that lately because
Brom keeps winning.
Because things like secret missions exist.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
fucking ruin. I fucking hate secret missions. The thing is, though.
But again, if we're doing custom narrative scenarios, that stops being a problem because we just don't use secret missions.
Yeah. Sod's Law, Brom's going to win tonight through a secret mission. The only way to win 40k now is lose for the first 2 turns.
Yeah, throw your primary. I was about to say, you just throw your primary, Joe.
Yeah. just score really badly and then hope it all comes in at the end and you'll be fine. Thank you, Sir Galahad Grail Hunter. I love the old missions like Farsight 8 needed to last X turns defending a tower against respawning Tyranids. Also, we know what the tournament army does. We want to see cool units like Belial. Belial is cool, but his rules are... If you looked at his rules recently, he's now...
This is where Galahad's 100% right.
Yeah, he is right.
You're 100% right. His rules are dog shit. He's 100% right. Yeah. Gorgeous model, we never see him.
Yeah, he is.
You're both right.
I don't understand how Games Workshop took, historically, one of the coolest Terminator characters in the game and made him the worst Space Marine Terminator unit in the game.
What about if we came up with... I'm literally thinking on the fly now, chat, right? Bear with me. Nothing might come of this.
Yeah.
What about if we came up with something like a Microsoft Word template that we can put out in something like Discord? We can trial this with the Thanes to start with, but we put out in Discord, and then people can come up with custom missions.
Yeah.
Now, what I don't want to do is I don't want people to say, you must have GW did this in the past, it's a bit shit. You must have exactly these units, because we don't have everything available to us. In terms of size of armies and channel, we're still relatively small. In terms of quality, I feel like often we punch with the big boys, but in terms of channel size and how long we've been building our 40k armies and OS armies, we're quite small. Yeah. So if we don't restrict potentially the units, maybe this person says, I envisage this as Guard versus Tyranids.
Yeah.
But people use our template, come up with their own custom cool mission that tells a story, submits it somewhere via Discord. The reason why I want it on a Word template is I don't want people just keep putting Discord messages in because it gets lost and people end up having conversations. And then maybe we could, at least once a month on a Thursday, maybe more frequently if it's successful, we pull one out and go, we're going to play this mission
also
by
do it in the
such.
realms of reality. Don't be like, you have to do this in a 3-story space station with layered walls and the table has to be played on the wall.
Ultimately, if they make something that's impossible, then we're not going to do it, are we?
Yeah, and we'll laugh at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be a cool idea.
I'm going to have a pull-down board of Joe's list of people's shit ideas, and we'll name and shame you.
He will do that as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Them's facts.
Yeah. And I'll write it, not in a dry wiper, but poo.
Yeah.
Thank you, Narek. He says, we have recently started making our own narrative missions, played our first self-made escalation mission which works surprisingly well. Going to plan a whole campaign next. Well, we plan. This is obviously this continues on from what Liam just said. Is we were going to do a narrative campaign, weren't we? But you gave up very quickly.
I gave up because AOS 4. So yeah, I wanted to do a narrative.
Or was it because the Space Marine Codex was not as good as you hoped it would be?
Space Marine Codex?
Chaos Space Marine.
No, it's because AOS 4.
No.
So instead of building Chaos Space Marine stuff, I actually like the Chaos Space Marine Codex.
Yeah.
It's one of my favourites that's come out of the newer codexes because I think it's quite well rounded on the whole.
Yeah.
I quite like it. I think it's quite fun, quite narrative. I think units kind of feel like units should do mostly in Chaos Space Marines. They've got a couple of issues. I don't like the fact that Abaddon falls over to a stiff breeze. That annoys me slightly.
It's not just you, mate.
But that's like it's one or two issues like that. Overall, I think the Chaos Space Marine Codex, dare I say this, in an area where I slate them quite a lot at the moment, the Chaos Space Marine Codex was arguably a job well done, I think, from Games Workshop. And the person that wrote that one did a good job compared to, say, for example, the person that wrote the Custodians or the AdMech ones.
Yeah.
So I like the Chaos Space Marine Codex. I like the idea of building a narrative Word Bearers army for a campaign. I think at the moment, if we, especially because the amount of, I mean, as you guys have seen over the last few weeks, right, what we're doing is we're constantly building Age of Sigmar stuff because our Age of Sigmar collection is significantly smaller than our 40k collection. So we're frantically building AOS stuff. And as Joe's already said earlier, his ability to build on stream means he can take it home and paint it. So the reason why he's picking this is because it dramatically increases his efficiency for getting stuff out on the table, which is why we're doing it, right? Now, if we go narrative campaign, like my idea right now, where I have to build and paint stuff, and you have to build and paint stuff,
Yeah.
it puts a pause to the AOS progress.
It does.
The numbers are telling us that we don't want to slow down our AOS content at all.
No.
Because the numbers are currently telling us it's our most successful content over 40k.
Yeah. Bear in mind that people, we're like, I hate AOS, I don't want to see it on the channel anymore. The numbers tell us that the only people that are watching the channel are AOS people.
Yeah. So I don't want to slow down the AOS content when the hype is there for it. And it's the thing that's literally performing for us right now. So I think instead, if we do something like community missions and stuff like that, where they can be narratively focused, but we're using what we've already got, maybe we add a couple of units here and there, it's significantly more reasonable for both of us than here's a completely brand new Chaos Space Marine army, here's a completely brand new Eldar army. Now, I absolutely want to let you loose and do your Eldar army in the near future, and then we'll probably move our current studio Eldar army on, and we'll have Joe's one with loads of Aspect Warriors and a lot more fun.
Yeah.
But right now, at least, I think that committing to painting two armies for a narrative campaign doesn't really make sense. We should just use what we've got and make it work, and then we also don't have an excuse then for we haven't got the right models or units or whatever. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense.
It makes kind of sense.
Always makes sense, Jay.
These models are fucking awful to build.
Why? Is it the plastic or is it just the?
It's like the way, like
I've always
the
found
parts, like these models, like you got a left arm and a bit of a cape on here, and you have to put it to a leg, a right arm, and half a torso, and the connection point's not obvious.
I always find as well that I don't know if it's just me, but the coloured plastic is always not as nice to work with.
It melts real quickly.
Okay, so it's not just me then.
It's quite melty.
I didn't wonder if it was my fucking ham hands or.
Colin Painting Adventures. Does Joe prefer to paint at home or at the office? I prefer to paint at home because that's where all my paint is and my paintbrushes. And also, I don't get enough time in between like games, because it takes like an hour and 15 minutes, currently an hour and a half to hour and 40 minutes to get here from where I live because the traffic is so bad for the summer holidays. But it's normally about an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes. So if I paint at home, I don't have to spend 2.5 hours driving to come here and paint. I can paint in between streams, but I can't paint like a lot of stuff.
It's most efficient just to have him building stuff here.
Yeah. So
travelling it home built and then.
Yeah. So what I tend to do is like, so what I'm doing at the moment. So at home, my Cities of Sigmar army is built, and I'm painting it, and I'm building the Soulblight Great. I'm building the Boner Men, the Bone Reapers here. So when I finish my Cities of Sigmar,
they come in.
They'll come in, and then the Boner Men will go home.
Don't forget, chat, gifted memberships are the best way to support the channel.
Thank you, Evan Tom and O, for one gifted membership.
Just throwing that out there because the super chats are amazing. Gifteds have stopped.
Yeah.
And we've got, look. Right.
He's not complaining. He does enjoy people on the internet just giving him money for nothing.
We have tonight Joe, Kyle, and Brom on the stream. I'm aware. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about it. I want a night off, right? I know typically when that happens, it's about 3 gifted members normally, right? We'll blame Kyle. So if we could have a good Liam and Joe show, I get to go home and relax. Because I'm like, you know what, lads, I don't care.
Isn't that what you do at home all the time anyway?
What?
Just relax and do
I'm just
nothing.
constantly stressed, Joe, as you well know.
If you did some work, you'd be less stressed.
It's weird how your chair's squeaking and mine isn't.
Yeah? It's because I'm leaning on it in a weird angle.
That's what it is, yeah. So if we can have a good Liam and Joe show...
Going to the gym is not work, though, is it? That's the thing. I think you're confused.
Hey, what?
Going to the gym isn't work, though.
It isn't work. It is work.
Is it? So if I just go to the gym every day and don't do any painting or building, I still get paid?
No, because that's not what your job description states.
Yeah. What's your job description?
But what I do, be a G, but what I do when I'm in the gym is I don't answer comments or emails. I save them the night before, and then in between all of the sets, I'm answering all the emails and comments.
Oh.
Yeah. Multitasking. That's part of the reason, that's part of the way I got over the guilt of going to the gym for an hour and a half every day.
Oh.
It was working whilst I'm there.
Yeah, but I can't do that at the gym.
No, because your job's painting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your argument of me being a fatty fattison doesn't work.
I mean, why aren't you going to the gym right now, Jay?
I've got a hernia.
It's got nothing to do with your job.
Yeah.
Because before your hernia, were you able to go to the gym? And was I encouraging it?
And I was going to the gym.
Yeah, exactly. And was I encouraging it?
Yeah, but my
so
work,
your argument falls over.
But my work was going down because I was in the fucking gym.
Your work can go down slightly. I would rather have a fit and healthy Joe with slightly less work than an unhealthy Joe that I'm always concerned about with loads of work.
He always takes the piss out of how fat I am and
That's
how
not
ugly
true.
I am.
But that's true.
And then he spits on me.
That's true.
Makes me sad.
Yeah. But you always come back for more. It's weird.
Well, because I got to get paid. Right. Fucking models. This is doing my head in. Right.
You chose to paint them.
I know, but you're building a fancy team. I want to
Oh,
build
these
a
are
fancy
beautiful, by the way, Joe. They go together lovely as well.
Team. I have regrets. I should have done the Dark Elf team because they also look bullshit and fiddly as well. Thank you, Benjamin Dester. It says, how about a mini wargaming Death Watch style narrative campaign?
Death Watch? I mean, that's probably a sore topic right now.
You make the special rules available so people can follow, but each member of the squad has plot armor. I'm very sad. Eisenhorn has been X'd.
Has Eisenhorn been removed? They said that.
The rumours are that he's not in the book. I've got the Eisenhorn model. I built him the other day, actually.
How can you remove Eisenhorn?
What?
Removing people like Eisenhorn and Yarrick is odd to me, and then keeping people like Eldrad in. So Eldrad actually died in the lore.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was in the 13th Black Crusade that never happened.
But he actually died in the lore, and now he still exists.
Yeah.
Yarrick, we don't really know how he's died or where he's gone, and yet he's been removed. I don't like. Am I the only one? Am I the only one hoping for some massive fucking Yarrick redemption arc story model, brand new model in the new Guard Codex?
I hope so. But it's
Yarrick's such a staple of 40k.
how Games Workshop does time
is weird, is right?
doesn't make sense, right? Because Tau only lived for 30 years.
There's a story we could tell, the death of Yarrick. That's a story we could do.
Yeah. So Tau only lived for 30 years, but Farsight's still going.
Maybe he's not Tau. Maybe
Right.
he's inside the city and you don't know.
But then
Maybe he's secretly an Eldar.
Castellan Crow, the Cajun guy, what's his name? Winston Churchill.
Yeah.
He's old and died, but now his daughter's grown up. And
Cartman,
now,
Lady Cartman.
Lady Cartman's now old. I'm like, but Sergeant Harker and Iron Hand Strachan are still kicking about.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not just me then.
Space Marines make sense because they are essentially immortal. But when you add time to other people, like...
What would you do if they remove Seth, Jay?
If they remove Seth, I'm going to be very upset for a long period of time. There's no excuse to not do him. And that's what fucks me off.
I don't know why, my instinct, it's not influence of intuition for reference, chat. This is not. My instinct is that they're going to remove him. He's going to be gone.
I reckon they'll remove him.
I don't know why I've got this tingly feeling at the moment that he's going to be gone. I feel like if he wasn't going to... If we don't get shown a Seth model on Saturday, I feel like he'd be gone.
What really bugs me is why get rid of... The Games Workshop have this great thing about getting rid of old, really well-loved characters and then bringing in really shit new ones. Right? Tor Garridan, the Imperial Fist guy. He's not even a first captain. He's just some dude. I'm like, why? Like Lazarus for Dark Angels. Right?
All dumb.
Cool model.
Really?
I like the Lazarus model.
As a Dark Angels fan, I have no desire to get Lazarus.
He's literally useless. He's pointless. His existence is meaningless.
Wow.
I hate him. Right? But then like Pedro Cantor has just stood off to one side in his like sombrero and he's like, oh, come on guys.
Pedro.
Yeah.
As a Dark Angels fan, the Lazarus, I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. Not interested.
And then they bought that Wolf Guard battle leader guy.
His model's cool though.
He's cool. Yeah.
He's got a nicer model than most of the fucking named characters.
Dave says I want Lysander back. Where's Lysander?
He's lying down.
We got Adress Earthshade, Adress Agatone, right? But no, he's not even the first captain. And Vulcan Heston, he didn't get a new model, not even a first captain.
I was in Warhammer World on Monday with my brother and my nephew, right? And my nephew's a big Salamanders fan. So we went up to the space. He had some money to spend.
Yeah.
We went up to the.
This is sentence isn't going to get us in trouble, is it?
No, no, absolutely not. We went up to the Space Marine section with his money to spend.
Yeah.
And he wanted Vulcan Hestan because he's Vulcan.
Yeah.
And I looked, and then we had what's the other guy's name with the hammer and
Adress Agatone.
Adress Earthshade, yeah, him, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like. And then you've got Vulcan, who's this piddly-ass little fucking fine-cast pile of absolute dog shit.
Yup.
And then you've got Adress, who's this super cool plastic model with a... And
he's an incredible model.
And I was like, you don't want Vulcan, you want Adress.
Yeah.
He's just a cooler model.
Yeah.
He's just better.
Vulcan Heston's rules are very, very good, but Adress Agatone is a fucking house.
He's good, isn't he?
It's so inconsistent. You got like... Tor Garridan just looks like a potato in armour.
It's supposed to be a positive stream about how we're going to improve our content.
Yeah, but you brought up the Seth situation, right? And you know...
No, but actually, this is relevant, okay? This is an interesting point. Talk about improving our content, right?
Yeah.
Seth comes out. So Blood Angels. Let's. This is again all speculation. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Say for sake of argument.
Yeah.
Blood Angels Codex comes out.
Yeah.
Seth's removed.
Yeah.
Now, when they do this, do they go to Legends or do they just disappear? Has Yarek got a Legends page or is he gone?
He's gone. He's gone.
Right, cool. So, how do we feel about people like Seth for Flesh Terrors? Let's say he goes down the Yarek route.
Yeah.
Let's say he's just gone,
yeah.
right? How about we just continue to use his index data card?
Yeah. But I think it's like if he's not in the book, my only hope is that they have like a Blood Angels relic or something that allows you to make Flesh Terrors. Because Games Workshop has basically spent the last 15 years ignoring the existence of Flesh Terrors. And now they've got transfers in the new box set, so their transfers are part of the mainstream Blood Angels transfer sheet.
If they give you transfers and take away Seth, I'm going to laugh so fucking hard.
That is not a good exchange.
No, but I will laugh so hard I'll literally piss. I think I'll send you a voice note of me just laughing.
Yeah. So I'm not going to repaint my army in a brighter red to go Blood Angels.
No, absolutely don't.
I will continue to have a Flesh Terrors army.
Yeah.
I will probably...
Well, you pick Flesh Terrors because you like them.
Yeah, I pick them because they're the cool Blood Angels.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. I will end up doing a Blood Angels army anyway. That's kind of a given. And I'll just run both together in the same army. Like if I can't run Flesh Terrors and Mr. Seth, then I'll just have a mixed red army with Blood Angels characters in it. But if there is war gear that allows Flesh Tearers to make a Seth-based character, that's fine. I can live with that. But it's just a bit annoying.
You're getting, yeah.
Yeah.
You're getting as a Flesh Tearers player who has collected Flesh Tearers, like I'm not talking just you, I'm talking anyone now. As a Flesh Tearers player who's collected Flesh Tearers for ages and painted all their Flesh Tearers and they have a Seth model, I feel like if you lose Seth, you lose Flesh Tearers and you gain transfers, you've got the rough end of a deal.
Do you know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do?
Defecate in the toilet for a change.
I'm just going to run my Flesh Tearers as Space Wolves. And just run Seth as Ragnar Blackmane.
I mean...
Because he's basically the same character.
I don't know Seth's narrative, so I don't know who else would fit the narrative from actual Blood Angels. But
the current rules-wise, they're basically identical.
What about someone, I mean, maybe not because of the psychic, or someone like Mephiston now, if he has got Lone Up and he has got Feel No Pain and he is a bit of a beast stick in combat, then Mephiston could work. But I guess...
I'm sure they'll add a really shit Blood Angels character that we've never heard of.
Maybe.
We got rid of this really cool guy who's literally so angry he just refuses to die, and we replaced him with this guy who really likes painting pictures on the side of pottery. You know.
But I do genuinely believe, like, I think we've talked before about we're never going to ban legends from the stream, and we've used a couple of legends units here and there. Maybe we go into the whole Warhammer's for fun rather than for competitive.
Right.
Seth's removed. We're going to use the old data card. World Eaters are coming. We're going to run a Brass Scorpion. Things like that, maybe. I don't know. I'd like to know what chat thinks about that kind of idea, because I've always felt like if we're not using the most latest up-to-date rules, we're going to get penalised for new people coming to watch the stream. But fun fact, chat, as you've probably seen from the subscriber numbers, new people aren't really coming to watch the streams anyway. So that seems to be an irrelevant fucking argument nowadays. Yeah. So maybe for those people that are still watching, who are enjoying, who are supporting us, who are amazing, we just enjoy ourselves and have fun, and hopefully they find it entertaining.
Well, I suppose with like the Blackmane argument, it's if I run in with Blackmane, I just don't run any other Space Wolves units in the army, which isn't a problem. And you can run Space Wolves in any detachment.
I don't know. The Blood Angels detachment is so fucking good.
Yeah.
Now it's got the +2 strength, +1 attack in it or something like that.
Well, we don't know what it's going to be going forward.
No, currently, obviously, but currently, as it is, what is it, +2 strength, +1 attack? Is that what it is right now?
It's mad good.
It's so good that I feel like, I'll get to use Ragnar's datasheet. You do, yeah, but you lose the actual Blood Angels traits. Boo.
Yeah. You basically lose everything that Blood Angels have. Right, yeah. It is annoying, like, but as Space Marine players, like, it's something we're going to have to do. Right, if they get rid of him and they kill him off, I want him to have a good death.
An honourable death.
Yeah. But I was floating around in space, his ship exploded. Wop, wop, wop. Yeah. Right?
You write for GW?
That's yeah. And then that's the day that I Molotov Lenton Road.
Yeah?
Yeah. Over Ragnar Blackmane and Seth.
Mostly Seth.
I just can't. It's the wild, all over the place-ness of Games Workshop I struggle with.
Yeah, no, and this is what I'm saying. This is like perhaps we are the ones then where the burden of responsibility lands to perhaps apply some stability to the wild, all over the place, and be like, hey, we've got Seth. Oh, you can't use him anymore because he's not in the codex. Yep, we're using the old data sheet. We're using the old points. It's about right. It works. It's not overpowered.
Yeah.
Let's go for it. We want to use it. We're playing narratively. We're going to run Gabriel Seth because he's not fucking dead.
Yeah.
So just because you've removed his model, like, we don't have a data sheet for Yarrick because they removed him in the Guard Codex before 10th edition. So when 10th edition hit, he's just flat gone then.
Yeah.
And that makes me sad. But then maybe we do this sort of, maybe we go a step further. I'm getting excited now. Maybe we go a step further. Maybe we make our own data sheets for people like Yarrick.
Yeah.
We go, hey, this is, because if we make sure that as a team, we kind of vote on what they can do and make sure it's reasonable rather than insane, and we can be like, yeah, that all makes narrative sense, that's cool, then we can even use things like some of the Crusade stuff as tools to build the character.
Yeah.
Right? So rather than actually playing the Crusade necessarily, we can use the tools to build a character like Yarrick and put Yarrick into a narrative, and maybe we play the death of Yarrick and we run a campaign of World Eaters versus Astra Militarum on the channel, and we only need to do like 3 or 4 games linked to be like, this is how Yarrick died.
Yeah.
That could be cool. That shit could be fun.
Yeah.
It could also be shit, but I'm just throwing ideas out there and seeing what sticks.
Angron, they kind of just killed Yarrick in the background. Oh yeah, Angron killed him.
Well, so there's people that believe that Yarrick's head is on Angron's model.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the skulls, I think, on one of his wings has got a bionic eye.
Yeah.
And people kind of put 2 and 2 together, made 12, and was like, that's Yarrick! But JW never said anything.
Yeah. And also, he's not the only person in the entire Imperium to have a bionic eye.
I do like the concept that GW sit on this super secret narrative for Yarrick and some big exciting things are going to happen. I do like that concept, but I'm also aware that it's the same company. It was like, when asked about custodians and female custodians, were like, yeah, they've always been there. So I both like, there's a chance of doing something super cool, and I'm here for it. There's also a chance of just going, who's Yarrick? What are you talking about? Never existed.
Yeah. He was never a character.
Never existed. I know what you're talking about.
There's never been a single guardsman with the name Yarrick.
But that feeds into what you've just said. They're kind of just all over the place, aren't they?
Yeah.
Ultimately, which sucks a little bit. But I'm up for. I think we can do some more narrative like that for pre-recorded. Part of the reason as well for pre-recorded. I was talking to this the other day in the Thanes. I think narrative content with detailed narrative works much better on pre-recorded than it does for live. Yeah. And I'll explain why, chat. Right? How often do you start a video that's not a live stream halfway through? You don't. No one does that. You start the video at the beginning. So if you're explaining a narrative scenario to your audience, and they're starting a video from the beginning, the first thing you do is you explain the narrative scenario. So when you're then playing the game, they've already had the explanation, they know what's going on, and then they can watch the video informed and follow along, and it's not too far-fetched because they've seen the explanation, they know what's happening. Yeah. If you do the same thing on a live stream, how many people join a live stream an hour into the game? Loads. Yeah. The audience numbers are constantly changing. Loads of people join halfway through. So when you join halfway through, I've been on a deck when we've been running a narrative campaign, and people get super pissy. What's going on? Why has he done this? That's not allowed. That's not a rule. Like, yeah, we're playing a custom campaign. It's fun. Yeah. As much as I want to say to people, just be here from the start. It's not realistic for most, to be fair. So I feel like for live content, it works slightly less because people are like, I don't understand. How's that been able to happen? Like, how does that work?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. How the fuck does that go on? These are fiddly in places, I'm not going to lie to you, Jay.
Good. Good, because this guy's a right piece of shit.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well, we're
I don't. The thing is, though, sometimes I think Games Workshop allows CAD too much freedom to disassemble the model. So when the program goes disassemble along these lines here, make sprue, done. You know, it doesn't make any sense, none whatsoever, and it bugs me to quite a ridiculous level. Like when I can't remember what it was building, but they had claws on their hands and feet, and like the hands and feet have like 1 or 2 claws on, and then you have to glue the rest of the claws on afterwards. And it's like, but that makes no sense. Just mold all the claws on. Or just don't have claws, just have toe beans, you know? My God, this guy is horrible. I understand why people do primal screaming now. Right, thank you, Smavin. It says 40k needs to increase points across the board by 25%. Yes. 100. There's too much on the table.
Yeah, I agree.
There's too much going on. There's too many things. Less models, less units would be better.
It's also better barrier to entry. The less you put on the table, the less people have to pay to get into the game. It's a better barrier to entry, isn't it? Yeah. Ultimately.
Oh yeah, Warjoy, flayed ones, horrible models to build.
Flayed ones are the worst.
Yeah, they're a nightmare.
They're the worst I've ever built ever.
Yeah. And the Carmore, it says, along with custom missions, you could make custom character chapter army rules. I saw something from Tabletop Tactics. They did similar with Emperor's Children. Yeah, I quite enjoyed watching Lawrence show Shade at Games Workshop.
Did he?
Because normally they toe the line, but he was like, because Games Workshop are too lazy to do it, and I was like, oh shit! They've woken the slumbering bear.
Well, it's entirely reasonable, isn't it, to be fair, though?
Like, yeah.
Even the most placid people, if they are genuinely honest people with their audience, they will have a breaking point.
Yeah.
Some shills will shill for the sake of it. Mm-hmm. I saw too many people when the fucking Cotier's model came out. I was like, this model's beautiful. I was like,
it's not.
Get your fucking head out your ass. You'd have to suck them off all the time.
People that say the Cotier's model is good, it looks good, have never seen the original.
I don't mind people liking it. I don't mind that too much. But to come out about, they've knocked it out of the park with this beautiful model, I was like, you are on crack. The new Nixes are pretty bad. I found the new Nixes were okay. You had a problem with them, though, didn't you? A mild problem.
The mild, there's the ball joint, the internal ball joint for where the arms go. It's not very good at explaining where to put them in the instructions. Also, the knees have a little claw on them, which is separate.
Yeah, I didn't really have an issue with them.
I struggled the first time because I've got fat fingers, but I got used to it after a while. Thank you, 95 Ginger Range says my mates play 3K Crusade games. I write all the missions to make them narrative. Only rule is following match play rules for illusion of balance. My suggestions is a score anytime, ongoing scoring, and end of game scoring.
What's that in English, Joe, if you read that again?
My suggestion is a score anytime, ongoing scoring, and end of game scoring.
Okay.
I'd like to see the current mission pack. They have a version of it where you pick, 12.
Oh, you know.
And then, 10. You pick 10 secondaries, and then each turn you pick 2 to score. Why are you measuring the bases?
Oddly, I don't know why. These are 32s, right?
Yeah.
So this one says 32.
Yeah.
That one says 32.
Yeah.
That I've made.
Yeah.
The leader, 32. So I've made that one 32. Made this one 32. Made this one 32. She's 32. She's 32. 28.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
It's weird, isn't it?
I'd put him on a 32.
28, 28, 28, 28.
Oh, so maybe the characters like this, like the base infantry people in it are on smaller bases, and the important character type ones are on bigger bases. Because you might find with Warcry, he is an individual character that costs like 250, 200 points, and then you can take the rest of the unit for 0.
They're stream runners. These are crest dancers.
Oh.
And that's a seneschal. To the app, Meat Squadron, thank you for the gifted. How many gifted are we on, Jay? Probably about 11 right now.
I don't know, I'm currently having a moment.
Oh, all of your Skaven stuff that you asked me for has been shipped. From Elephant Games, ! Element.
Oh.
Let's have a look at these. So we've got...
Hang on.
Venari...
Hang on, chat. Talk amongst yourselves.
Udrillian Riverblades, unit details,
It's not
10
very
models.
good TV of us. We're both just ignoring you all.
It's weird. It says 10 models. It doesn't tell you... Well, I guess they come on 28 mil, don't they?
Right.
You can have a mixed base size unit. That's weird, isn't it?
That bit's just snapped off. I'll figure out where that goes there. What they called the Wilder Corps for City Sigmar. Mm-hmm. They cut. One's on a 40 mil, some are on 32, some are on 30, and some are on 25s.
So it just says 10 models, 140.
They're just all over the place. Thank you, 95 Ginger Range. Also, I've created a Google slide presentation to manage and upload PDFs for the mission for the players. Anyone can view it, so I can send the link if you want to check out missions. Send it to Liam.
That sounds cool. If it makes my life easier, I'm here for it.
Yeah, basically, a lot of the reason why stuff never happens is because Liam can't be bothered to put in any level of effort.
Now tell the truth.
What?
Now tell the truth.
You're like, I can't be fucking bothered tonight.
Tell me the actual truth.
Oh, is what he does. Is the noise I hear most often, all day. That's a lie.
Tell the truth.
He goes, Joe, you're a cunt.
Yeah.
And then, and the sound of him farting is also a regular occurrence in my life. Thank you, Meat Squadron. It says, I love our Fatty Fatterson.
You think he's talking about you?
I guess so.
I didn't say that.
He gifted the membership afterwards, so it's fine.
Well, hero. Just the one, actually.
Yeah. And then thank you, Gun Bunny, 555, gifted membership.
Well, legend. Thank you, dude.
I hope that you get a pet rabbit. And
I thought that was it then.
and no one shoots it.
Thank you so much for 5 gifted, dude. I think that puts us on about 16,
Some
17.
with some maths. And then I'm going to cut this little choppy base.
Yeah, I mean, the picture shows one of the guys on the 28mm base and one of the guys on the 32mm base, so I guess they just have 2 different size bases.
The only thing that annoys me about Underworlds, right, is it shows that Games Workshop can actually design nice 3D bases.
The Underworld bases are really, really nice, but I don't know if I like them. So if you're just playing Underworlds, they're absolutely beautiful. But if you're including them in your army for whatever reason, then you have to normally have to work quite hard to convert them, right, to get them to fit. If you want to theme the whole army the same.
So Flying Muttley says it tends to be a leader, 2 heroes, troops in the Warcry bands with different base sizes. Because I suppose they're more elite within the purposes within the Warcry realm.
When I first pulled the bases out, they were kind of the ones I was putting out were all 32s. I got quite lucky because I was just bagging them on bases like, they all look like the same size. Yeah. Turns out that some are 32s and some are 28s and some are fucking something else.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I actually paid attention because normally I don't. Especially when Joe's fucking talking.
I hate this job.
That's a lie. You know it.
I hate it. I get treated so poorly.
Yep. Cry me a river.
I will. I will, actually. Oh, that's where that bit that broke off came from.
You get treated incredibly well, actually.
No. Where's that bit that broke off? There it is. I found it. Nobody panic. Oh, I don't know how it came. How did you fit on, Mr. Broken Bit? Oh. This is where having fat hands is a problem.
Yep. Trust me, I know.
Because...
Brother,
Come on.
That was fiddly for the sake of it, wasn't it?
Come on now. In you go.
This one looks less fiddly.
Right. So, yeah. Super chats have stopped now.
Is that all of it? We've got for everything?
Yeah, we've got for everything.
Oh, okay. How many gifteds are we on? Do we need to go around there and check?
Oh, one's come through. Right. That bit that's missing is going to be missing forever.
Okay.
Thank you. Everton says, good day, gents. Joe, do you prime models whilst they are still on the sprue? What do you generally do? You guys make me laugh and smile every show.
Oh, love you, Evan.
We can give you the illusion of joy.
Thanks, man. That's lovely words to say.
Thank you. I never spray on the sprue. There's times when I've built models and then I've gone, oh, that probably would have been helpful if I had sprayed it on the sprue. But those moments are rare in my lifetime.
I've never sprayed anything on a sprue.
Just because... Oh, that's how it goes. Stay there.
Are you a fully build or a sub-assembly man? Or a combination?
I'm a combination. It tends to be... if the model... So, for instance, Flesh Tearers have red armour, black helmet, black shoulder pads, black backpack.
Okay.
So I airbrush. So I have all of those on. So the heads, shoulder pads, and
Knees and toes.
backpacks.
Okay.
I've basically created. It looks like a bed of nails, essentially. A big piece of card with a bunch of toothpicks in it, and I glue all the backpacks and heads to it
With like some super glue.
with some super glue, and I airbrush all of those black separately,
Okay.
and then all the torsos and legs I do red, and then once that's done, I glue all the heads, shoulder pads, and backpacks on, and then paint all the details as a whole piece. But then, like, for instance, when I get around to doing salamanders and white scars, they'll just be all built. Sometimes I'll do it in sub-assemblies if they've got quite a fancy cape.
I'm currently torn
Yeah.
because I've been building Lumineth at home,
Yeah.
specifically the pole people with the big giant spears, and then the Dawn Riders.
Yeah.
And they have some super fancy big Lumineth high elf shields,
Yeah.
which are very pretty. But when you put them on, they do cover a fair amount up. Which, if it was like a model that was in like dark armor and dark colours, but yeah, I don't really care because it's under the shield.
Yeah.
But because of the colour of the Lumineth, the blues and the whites, I'm like, I feel like if that's not painted, it's gonna be really obvious. So I'm currently sat at home with the 5 Dawn Riders and all the Spearmen with all their shields still on the sprue, having not snipped them off yet, because I also feel like, so the other reason for sub-assembling for me, it depends on how...
Oh, for fuck.
It depends on how...
What?
You probably don't want the model sat in it.
Oh no, I don't want the model sat in it. That would be madness. Off I go.
You probably don't want...
I blame Liam for this entirely. Where's the toilet roll?
Just use the kitchen roll. It's on the desk. The kitchen roll will dry more up. It's on the desk out here.
It was in the toilet, not in the toilet.
Well, for an arse like yours, we need it. So the other thing for me with sub-assembling, where I've had problems before, where I've sub-assembled, painted, been really happy with the sub-assembly painting and the detail. I've then gone to glue it together, and it's been a fucking nightmare to get it glued. Such a nightmare, in fact, that the gluing process has then ruined some of the painting process. And then I get fucking really disheartened. And you know me, at that point, it goes in the bin.
I need to get a new cutting mat.
Have you really broken your cutting mat?
The glue, as it turns out, strips the ink off of the
It does.
cutting
It's
mat.
very good, this glue, but it's pretty potent stuff. It's also mildly carcinogenic, but don't worry about it.
You know, the state of my body, you know.
Yeah, it's not that bad if you don't inhale that much, which you don't when you keep the lid on and don't spill it all over the desk.
I'm not getting a full run out, so don't worry. I'll come to terms with that.
John McCardle, thank you so much for 20 gifted memberships.
Thank you, John. Now buy me a new pot of glue.
Come to save the stream. What are we on? Well, apart from glue fumes.
That's strong, isn't it?
38?
I'm gonna leave that there, not for a wank, but
38, chat. Not even halfway, Joe.
powerful shit.
It is strong, isn't it?
Good lord. Me oh my.
John, thank you so much for the 20 gifted, dude. What a fucking legend. We're not doing well today. I'll let you off, chat. You did well last night.
Thanks, John.
Your body's filtration system isn't particularly good, is it, apparently?
No, not since I got the Rona and nearly died.
No, yeah.
My ability to control the gases that pass through me are not great. Good lord.
I've read the law piece, by the way, Electman. I've read it. Joe's refusing to right now.
He read it out loud to me.
I didn't. What does it say?
Something about elves knitting. Something about like they're all just really bored because they're all really boring.
I loosely told him what's in it, but he struggles to read a super chat, so getting him to read 2 pages of a battle tome is even more challenging.
Yeah.
And because it's Lumineth, and he doesn't want to accept the fact that they are the superior faction in the mortal
Like
realms.
a problem now.
In the mortal realms, he won't read it for fear of being proven that they are in fact the superior faction.
The Lumineth Realm Lords in the Kado books are a bunch of dicks.
And that's kind of high elf shtick, though, isn't it? Like that's
Yeah. They basically turn up and they want something, so they just decide to kill everyone.
Seems fair.
They don't really care too much.
Yeah, the whole high elf shtick. Like I was watching. What was I watching the other day?
Porn.
Desolation of Smaug.
Yeah.
I was watching that the other day, and I think it was that one. I was watching. And like elves are always portrayed as really arrogant beings, aren't they?
Not even the one that falls in love with the dwarf. Wasn't she a made-up character?
Yeah, I think
Someone told me. I remember someone getting really upset about made-up elves.
It's a long time since I read
Dear
the
God, this is strong. The fumes are literally coming off of the mat.
Yeah.
Thanks, John. I hope.
Yeah, thanks, John. Love you.
I hope next time you have a gaming night and you order all those chicken nuggets, they just send you some extra stuff for free on top.
What's the best?
Because he gets burgers and nugs, doesn't he?
What's the best sauce for McDonald's chicken nuggets, Joe?
The barbecue.
Correct. Well done.
Barbecue sauce.
I could go from McDonald's today. I'm not lying to you.
I've not had a McDonald's in
A long time? Yeah, me neither. We can't afford to, though, because
Thank you, Kev Thacker, for 5 good memberships.
that puts us on like 48 or something.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kev.
Thank you, Kev. I hope that you get a new next door neighbour and they're really into Old World.
Ooh, maybe
Yeah.
he's not into what they joke. You thought about that?
Nah.
He doesn't care what you're into, Kev.
Yeah. He says, I miss pre-Monopose style.
I thought I did.
It depends, right? Is that you or me?
It's me, mate.
Right.
One's for you.
No one is phoning me. No, I think I do miss it and I don't. What I miss is because I for these kind of things like Shadespire, like Underworld, you're only going to have the one unit, realistically. So having cool pose action figures is great, and then you can slip them into your armies that you're playing at the time, which I really, really like. So I really liked Kill Team for it when they were doing the cool pose, like they did like the Rogue Trader stuff and the Inquisitor. Those models I really liked. But I really, really love converting Space Marines. If I just only built and painted and converted Space Marines for the rest of my life, I'd be super happy.
Yeah, you do, don't you? You're a big fan of that.
I love them because it's the way that, and back in the day, every Space Marine kit you bought for Chaos and Loyalist, they were all designed to fit together. They were all convertible. There's a word. They're all the same size.
Interchangeable.
They're all interchangeable. We'll go with that. So
I got your back.
and obviously you got legs.
And arms.
Which was and arms, but like the torso was separate, the head was separate, the backpack was separate, and it basically meant you could convert and make some really cool stuff. I kind of wish we had a bit of that with Primaris because I like making cool poses. I really like the Forge World range of upgrade bits. So like giving Chaos Space Marines and Loyalists cool fancy helmets is great. What I'd like to have seen is a bit...
You're struggling over there, aren't you?
Yeah, I think the smell is slowly melting my brain. I'm just going to put that over there. What I'd like to see is a bit of universal crossover from Heresy and 40k. So the torsos of the Heresy stuff fit on the 40k Marines. Whereas now, when you buy a box of Chaos Space Marines, you get one leg, you get the other leg, but one leg has the entire back of the torso on it, and then you have to glue the torso on the front. Like, I just wish that would just fuck off, because I just like making really cool poses. Because I want my stuff to look different to everyone else's stuff.
See, I'm kind of really torn here.
Yeah.
I've always been a person who has typically wanted an army where every model has something different that makes it different from another one, right? Because I've always thought that's I don't want.
Thank you, Kev. This is next. Their neighbours are into D&D. That's fine.
AD&D, what's that?
Or maybe he missed out the H.
So I've always been a person. I absolutely have always been a person that wants all of my units to look individual and separate and different.
Yeah.
And I've always been really fussy about it. And I'm becoming less fussy about it. I'm not entirely sure why I'm becoming less fussy about it, but I am becoming less fussy about it.
Yeah.
I think it's harder now. I think the only way that you're able to do that is by going back to the old kits that you're referencing, Joe.
Yeah.
But I also feel like I don't want to go back to those old kits, because you know what? If you think about some of the poses we have now, because things aren't interchangeable, we have some beautifully stunning models now.
Stunning models. Because like at the time, Games Workshop never produced the arms to go at the right kind of like up angle or forwards. We went into Rums and Brom there, you know. But so like you couldn't do specific poses, so you had to get really good at green stuff. Some of the new Monopose stuff makes sense because it helps people get models on the table really quickly, especially new players like young kids. I used to work for an eBay page that sold second-hand models, and the amount of models we'd get in where the shoulder pads were put on wrong blew my fucking mind.
But have you?
So instead of having the old shoulder pad that goes here and then goes all the way up and around like that, it would start here and then go all the way out here and then curve round. So they're like some real like 70s shoulder pads going on there.
So do you have a Gabriel Seth model in your Flesh Terrors army?
I don't have the official one.
Do you have a Gabriel Seth model in your Flesh Terrors? Yeah. Did you convert it?
I did.
So these new Monopose models haven't stopped you from converting it?
No, I think what it's done is it's just made me better at converting models. And right, so I think also, this is going to sound really big-headed, and I'm sorry. In a realm of
you're trying to work out how you can say this and come across classy.
Yeah. In a realm of where everyone's using Monopose models, my models look better. Right? But by having... Okay, if everyone there's using Space Marines, right? If there's 10 armies all using Space Marines, my one will stand out because everyone else's looks the same. But the Monopose has to exist for people who put more effort into their models to look better. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Because people go, oh, that's a cool conversion. How did you do that? Or that's a cool conversion. But
you're such an elitist gatekeeper, Joe.
I know, but I think to get to that level, you had to have the non-Monopose stuff before. You had to learn to do pin vicing. You had to learn how to use green stuff. You had to learn how to use an actual drill to then make a cool banner. You know?
I'm less... I mean, I don't have anything against converting at all, but I'm less fussed. I think that the cool Monopose stuff that we have now is some of the most... And I think for 40k as well, some of the most beautiful models we've ever seen.
Yeah.
I'm sat here right now building cool Monopose stuff that is just stunning. But for 40k included, like I feel like the dynamism of things like the Assault Intercessors, etc. We just kind of didn't really have that sort of action in terms of the way it's posed previously. So I'm kind of here for it. I still feel like even Primaris, I still don't. It's harder. It is harder to convert, but it's still possible.
Well, it's a weird one because it also depends on the faction. Gene Stealers, for instance, are Monopose. So,
but do you care?
If you've got 30 on the table, you don't really notice it unless they've got some have got like a tactical pipe that they're standing on, right? But apart from that, you don't really notice it because it's just 30 models with 4 arms everywhere.
Yep.
You know. But it's like in yours, are you going to have 30 of these, or are you only going to have the 10?
Just the one unit.
Yeah. So if you've got the one unit, Monopose doesn't mean anything.
But then my chain rafts that I've currently started painting at home.
Yeah.
Pause. My chain rafts that I've started painting at home.
Oh, well done. Yes, well done.
Okay.
Congratulations for doing a base job. You know.
They are like there's only 10 of them, and they are 100% Monopose, and they're not something that I would ever care about converting. They're just chain rasps. So if I have 30 or 40 in an army, do I care that there's Monopose, there's duplicates? Or not really.
No, I think it only stands out. I think the worst examples of Monopose were Death Guard.
Yeah.
Because it was really, really obvious. Because there was 7 Monopose models, and you had to make a 10-man unit. So 3 of the Monopose models had to be duplicated. So if you had 30 in your army, there was a lot of the same, and it was really, really like.
But what would you rather with Death
obvious.
Guard? Would you rather have less Death Guard detail and less Nurgly detail, and then be able to reduce the number of duplicate poses? Or would you rather just be okay with the duplicate poses, but you get tons and tons of Death Guard detail?
I think it got to a good point with Death Guard because we've made 7 Monopose. We're now going to make 3 more. So they've completed the 10. What was mental is you could only get the 7 Monopose models in a £100 box set, and then you could only get the expansion set, for £30, which was bonkers, right? And then they released a 7-man multi-part kit. So you still had to buy 2 to get a 10. But it did mean that you ended up with a large variety of models. So you could have 20 in your army and they all look different.
These are better than Harlequins.
The thing is though, like I've got.
These make me want to build Harlequins.
Like, what's mad is like the zombie kit for Soulblight Gravelords makes 20 zombies. But there are a lot of duplicates in the box, but you don't care. You don't notice because it's
zombies.
A big mass.
It's a big horde, yeah.
Zombies, isn't it?
Yeah. I feel like you care more about Space Marines because they kind of... the way the whole 40k universe works, the way the narrative works, Space Marines typically, a standard Space Marine can create its own story and be a hero.
Yeah, like a lot of the best Space Marine books are when there's like 4 of them.
Yeah, right.
Doing cool Space Marine shit. I think what I'd like to see...
Your own penis?
Is a more of an expansion on the Space Marine Heroes range for Primaris.
Okay. I'm
so
here for
more, because so a lot of the Monopose stuff that we get for Space Marines is cool, but the Heroes range, they are posed in cool heroic
So how
pose.
do you
I am desperate
for the toilet?
No, for this is also a call out to you people. It's just a wink, 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 nudge, nudge, nudge. Desperate for the Warhammer Heroes Space Marine, the Terminator Ancient model. That model is stunning. It's the only one I never got.
So I'm not against it.
Yeah.
I'm not against more unique sculpts that just fulfill current existing data sheets. I don't feel like every time they bring out new sculpts, they need to bring out a new data sheet. I feel like that's a weird thing that they've done a little bit. And I feel like there's ways in which they could bring in new sculpts and just be like, here's just a cool option that you can have for Intercessor Sergeants or whatever. I don't know. However, I feel like, hey, here's more generic Space Marine sculpts whilst we're going to be removing Death Company box sets potentially.
Yeah.
And we've removed Blood Angels tactical squads. I'm one of those people, I've said this forever, right? And I stand by it. Space Marines are boring. And the only time I like Space Marines is when they're Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Black Templars.
Yeah.
Space Wolves, I like the fact there's variety. I just don't like the model range for Space Wolves. I love the concept of Space Wolves. I hate the model range.
I imagine Space Wolves are going to get quite an uplift.
Yeah, but I think that they're going to do what they've always done with Space Wolves, and I feel like they're going to lean into the fluffy fucking werewolfy vibe, when I would rather they leaned into the Nordic vibe.
Do you know what does annoy me? When they upgrade an army.
Okay.
Right. And we saw this with the Dark Angels, and I'm worried for the Blood Angels because of it, right? Because I want cool new shit, right? When they upgrade half the range and then leave you with the old shit models at the same time.
But they didn't, did they?
Well, they went, here's new Terminators, here's an upgrade kit for the new Terminator kit, you still have to use the old plastic Raven Wing Knights, the Black Knights.
But you don't. They gave you, what they did is they said, here's a back banner for one of your 3 Outriders, use Outriders.
Yeah, but they didn't. But if you want to run Black Knights, they didn't give you a new Black Knight kit, did they?
Fair,
you have to use the tiny bikes.
For Black Knights, yeah, you're right.
Which doesn't make sense. Why didn't they get a new Black Knight kit? Or an upgrade sprue for Outriders? Mm-hmm. They were like, you've got like, here's the adults riding around on their motorcycles, and here's a bunch of like kids in their like Fisher Price tricked out cars.
I feel like we're missing out a lot of flavour by some of the removals that's going on in these supplements. I I can't decide whether I think it's overall a good or bad thing. So my gut instinct is immediately it's a bad thing, because the second you're losing Ravenwing units and you're losing Deathwing units, Death Company units, and you're losing potentially jump Sanguinary Priests, and you're losing this and you're losing that. The second you lose all this stuff, I'm like, this is really sad. People will have spent time converting, building, painting, putting stuff on the table. It's quite sad that all this shit's going. And I feel like it's a loss to the hobby in general when some of this stuff is removed. I fully remember the days, and I'm sure this is relatively recent in most people's memories though, where you read a codex and you go, so for Dark Angels specifically, I've been a Dark Angels player forever. For Dark Angels specifically, you can take a librarian on a bike, part of the Ravenwing. And I remember taking the Dark Angels librarian out of that starter box set from 7th edition or whatever it was, and kit bashing the top half of him onto a Black Knight bike so I could convert my own librarian on bike. There was no model for it, and that was cool because that was a challenge. How do I make this as a cool model?
Well, a couple of months ago, I had to convert up, and I was quite proud of them, Sanguinary Priests for jump packs. Right? Rumour is they're going away now, so I can't use Sanguinary Priests for jump packs anymore. But I was talking to someone last night, and they were like, "Oh, you're going to have to repaint them." I was like, "No, I'm just going to put them in my Assault Intercessor squad."
Yeah.
With jump packs, you'd be like, they're part of the 10-man squad. They're the sergeant now.
Yeah, you can't get confused because, even then, you could just use them as Sanguinary Priests on foot if you wanted to. You can't be confused with jump pack ones because they don't exist if that's the truth.
Yeah, but mine are quite jumpy leapy.
But who cares? If you've put, are they on the same size base as Sanguinary? Let's say Sanguinary Priests can join Intercessors.
Hang on, let me look at the picture.
If they're on the same size base, who gives a shit?
I don't know what.
Just run them as foot priests and be like, yeah, they've got a jump pack modelled on them, but literally there is no. If it's true that they've removed them from the codex, literally there is no data sheet for Sanguinary Priests on foot, so they can't be a jump one. So you can't get confused, Mr. Opponent. Dry your fucking eyes. Let's have a fun game. Exclamation mark gift.
Where's the thing?
I'll wait.
Show me the thing.
You want me to show you my thing?
Oh look, it is like. Votan finally get a Black Library book. Right, here we are. Planet, more Heroes of Baal cross the Rubicon Primaris. I think he's on a 40 mil base.
Ugh. What's the current apothecary on for Primaris?
32 or 25. I think it's 32. Also, controversially, don't like the new Blood Angels captain. I think he looks right. So here's a prime example of when Monopose would have been much better, because this multi-part Blood Angels captain looks like every other Primaris Marine. There's nothing special about him. You know,
I don't hate it.
You know, do you know one of my favourite Space Marine captains? Models is Monopose. The generic Space Marine captain is the one that they don't. I don't know if they sell it individually. You can only get it in the Heroes box set, where he's got his hand on the top of his shield. He just stood there holding that, and he's got his sword down to one side. Great model. Great model. This new one, poopy.
That reminds me. Don't forget on what day is it? On Saturday. You set yourself a little reminder. Don't look at Instagram.
Oh yeah, I'm not touching Instagram
because every fucking man and his twat on Instagram feels the need to try and farm the algorithm by posting the fucking Warhammer community pictures. Look at this cool new model, and I see it 7,000.
Isn't it 5 o'clock though in the afternoon?
Yeah, I won't touch Instagram for the evening. I get so bored of 5,000 fucking Instagrammers posting the exact same picture, going, "Look how great this looks." Bore off. Fucking honestly.
Also.
I'm so grumpy.
One of those Sanguinary Priest heads looks great. Another one looks like he's got jaundice. Look at him. He looks like he's just sucked on a really, really sour kiwi fruit. You know, fur on.
Why were you? What have you got against having people with jaundice in the hobby, Joe?
No, I don't have a problem.
They need representing too.
That's fine. But I want my Sanguinary Priest to have a full head of really nice hair. Something I don't have, you know?
Yeah.
Also, my big worry is they're going to ruin Sanguinary Priest as well.
How did you figure that one out?
I don't want them to be like apothecaries. Because apothecaries in the game are terrible.
Are they?
There's no reason to bring an apothecary anymore.
Brom brings one.
Brombindle.
Brom brings one.
Yeah, but the only one that's worth taking is the one in the mega armor, whatever it's called.
Gravis.
The Gravis armor, because he actually gives you a semi-decent bonus. The one on foot allows you to bring one model back a turn.
Yeah, that's the one Brom brought.
Yeah.
He bought that one in the game where he beat you 80 points to 20.
Yeah, but he never got to bring a model back with it.
I feel like he's the expert, like, if he beat you 80 points to 20.
Yeah. And then, whereas the Sanguinary Priest gives your unit a 5-up feel no pain, which I think is probably a bit strong. I wouldn't have an issue if they put it down to 6.
Doesn't he give you a fight like
So currently he gives you a 5-up feel no pain and +1 AP to all of your combat weapons.
From a game and balance perspective, if they do remove Sanguinary Priest with jump packs that can go with jump intercessors, I get it.
Yeah, because they're quite strong.
So their points are
if they keep the same rules, they are mad good.
Look at them, Joe.
Whereas on foot, they're easier to kind of get around. If they kept the 5-up feel no pain and got rid of the +1 AP, we wouldn't have an issue. Or if they went to a 6-up feel no pain and you kept the +1 AP, wouldn't have an issue. If they got rid of both and said you can return one model to unit, it's pointless because the only units he can join are not Blade Guard. And otherwise it's useless.
They're cool little weapons.
You're a cool little weapon.
But I think I'm going to use the blades. Exclamation mark gift.
Thank you. His brother Corbulo is still going to be in the Codex. Is he getting a new model? Or is he staying in the existing model?
The issue is we just don't know, do we?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Thank you, Johan.
Mr. the Johan
says, just a thought. Any night owls on the team, maybe you could have a team that stream in the middle of the night so people in, say, the US could catch in on what would be their daytime. So
the time we go live at 7:30, with the exception of Australia, because their clocks are out at the moment, but for half the year it's okay, with the exception of Australia, everyone's awake.
Yeah.
So when we go live at 7:30, it's 11:30 in the morning in the Pacific time. Yeah, on the West Coast. It's 11:30 in the morning. We're 8 hours ahead. So when we do go live on our evening streams, we are live for everybody. So, nailed it.
All right. Thank you, Sean. It says, take a look in the new Middle-earth strategy battle game. Angmar models announced today. The newer models for Lord of the Rings do tend to look quite nice. I'm a big fan of the Wood Elf range, the Lothlorien ones.
Yeah. Are they good enough to be used in Old World?
You can. The scale's a bit off.
That's what I was asking about. If the scale's off, then it doesn't work. Shame. Sad face.
Oh, they're cool. They're just Vikings.
Yeah, but I could just build Dark Oath.
Yeah, they're cool. They're like Dark Oath, but not.
Alec, man, thank you for tag gifted. Whee! What a fucking beautiful human. I did read those 2 pages. I did explain to Joe what was going on loosely, but he's, as always, is just being fucking belligerent and refusing to. No, I don't like it. It's bad. No one can ever change my mind. I've made up my mind. No one can ever change my mind. That's the person. That's the person I have to work with, I'm afraid.
Yeah, they're cool models. I like them, but they're basically smaller versions of the Dark Oath stuff. Thank you, Aluru. Come on, to membership. Thank you, Alec Man. I hope, Alec Man, that with new.
I hope Joe actually reads that article for you.
I make the wishes around here. I hope the new Lumineth book is great and they get some interesting lore. I think the problem, right, is I like my favourite part of Old World and Age of Sigmar is like the horror aspect of it, the really dark shit, you know?
Yeah, but Lumineth can be dark.
Nah, too
The
shiny.
whole narrative arc that he's talking about on that pages, they're like literally farming humans to be a second army for them, and when they fail any test, they put them into a dunce village.
Yeah, it's very Brom.
It's pretty dark when you think about it, isn't it?
Yeah?
You're literally growing a race to just be the first wave and protect you,
Yeah.
and then when they fail, they put them in a thing called the Simple Village, Jay. Are you just upset because that's where you'd live?
No, if I was going to live somewhere, I think I would probably like the Realm of Death seems like a cool place to live, but and the side of it's pretty grim. You're just going to get murdered. I want to live in like the realm of where Ilariel lives.
What are the realms? So the Realm of Death is Shaiish.
Yeah.
Ger is what? Fire? No?
Ger is
don't
the
know
realm
the
of beasts.
So which
Because all the realms are based on the old Warhammer fantasy magic laws.
Yeah, which I'm here for.
Yeah, so you've got like the realm of shadow, which you
is-
haven't heard much from yet.
What's that called?
Because
Because the Lumineth live in Haish, which is the realm of light.
yeah,
Is that right? And then the Sylvaneth are in the realm of life, which is called.
fuck, it's not that.
Are you sure?
Yeah, where's the books? Where are the books? Bear with, people. Bear with. There was a book in here called the Rule Book.
It'll be on.
Oh, core book here.
On the
we are,
bookshelf, Jay, where all the books live.
I got you. I
Yeah?
got you. Okay.
It's a relatively logical process. Does it tell us on here? Ger is beast.
Maybe I could do a
Tank the Unknowing, thank you for the one gifted membership.
maybe I could do a late night stream. I sleep terribly.
I'm yet to let you loose streaming on the channel without me present, or at least me setting it up.
Is there a map? There's got to be a map, surely. Surely.
Of course there isn't. Stop calling me Shirley. You get that film reference?
I did. Airplane. I watched Airplane not long ago, actually. We introduced the eldest to Anchorman last night.
All right.
Yeah, she's never watched Anchorman. And my partner's only ever seen it once, like when it first came out. So it's like an entirely new thing for her to watch.
Have they seen Hot Fuzz at least?
And I'll get the map in white. I did, but the map is at home. And not
The White
here.
Dwarf. I want that White Dwarf. I don't know if they're still selling it. I don't know if I need it now because it had all the cool reference cards, but then I found that they were all in the General's
Yeah, I
Handbook.
got it. I felt like I wasted £6 in the end.
Because
But,
the General's Handbook.
Yeah. I haven't even read The White Dwarf either. And basically, I might take it with me when I go away. Last time I bought a White Dwarf was when I went camping, and then I saw Stephen Bock was in it, so I'd set fire to it.
Yeah, fucking best use of that.
So the Shade Realm, or the Realm of Shadow,
Yeah.
is Ulgu.
Old Goo, yeah.
Ulgu,
Old Goo, yeah.
yeah. But then, like, each one has got its own little planet as well.
I'm here.
Everyone's basically like Discworld, isn't it? Really. Then there's Shaiish, which looks like a
So Shaish's Realm of Death.
it looks like a fleshlight.
Nagash's Realm.
Yeah. Haiish is the illuminating,
The Realm of Light.
the realm of light.
That's Lumineth Realm
Yeah.
Lords.
Then you've got Akshi, or a Squishy,
Akshai,
the
yeah.
bright, which is the realm of life. The realm of Squishy, that's how it's read.
Akshai Realm of Life, that's Sylvaneth, right?
Yeah. The Jade Realm, what's that? That's got to be the realm of life then. Or no, what's the Jade Kingdom of Gyron?
Isn't actually Realm of Fire?
Fire, yeah, that's why it's got a big ring of fire around
It's
it.
where the Fire Slayers are from.
The Squishies. And then you've got Golden Realm.
Only because Akshi's on the Realm of Fire is a big thing on top of the above the toilets in Bugman's. So I remember that from Monday.
The golden realm of Shamon.
Chamon?
Camel, that's the realm of metal, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then the savage lands of Gur.
Grr. Which is beasts.
Gur. And then you've got the bad moon, which is goes where the fuck it wants. And then you've got High Azir. The Varanspire Citadel of the Ever-Chosen. So you've got but you've got the realm of chaos, which is like sits in the middle. That's entertaining, isn't it?
Weeman says, can I live in the realm of cats?
Yeah.
Thank you, Weeman, for the 5 gifted memberships as well. 5.
Realm of cats would be Gur.
5. Grr.
Gur. 5. Yeah, thank you, Weeman, for 5. I hope that on the weekend you get to see beautiful models for a faction that you want to play.
He plays Tau.
He plays what?
Tau.
Tau? No one wants new models for that.
Yeah, I do.
You've had your time.
I want more. I'd like more mercenaries for Tau.
Yeah, I'd like to see. The problem is when Games Workshop gives us cool new models through things like Kill Team, it's a real lottery on whether the unit's going to be good or just sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. You know, like as a Chaos player, I got Chaos Legionaries, which are literally pointless.
I love them. I think they're great models.
They're great models, look beautiful. The Beastmen stuff, great, wonderful. Pointless unit though, because we've already got cultists and we've already got Traitor Guard. What I want is Legionaries, Traitor Guard, and cultists all become the same unit. Just cultists, and just give you better option.
He doesn't want much chat, does he?
Yeah, I want. It's really cold in here again.
It's not cold.
And I need a wee.
I'm
Thank
sat
you,
here.
Sir Galahad Grail Hunter. Maybe you ban all rerolls, innate or strats. Make rolls when mean something. Force decisions and consequences. Maybe make defender have to place the max in reserve and simply ending the game within 10 points.
I do. I have really strongly considered things like house rules, but I think it's bad from a content perspective. I think it'd be better from a fun perspective, like CP reroll once per battle.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like that sort of house rule, I think could be really, really cool. But I think when new players find us, it hampers us slightly if they. You're right there, mate.
I was trying to fix my thing and it's all gone. It's all gone Pete Tong.
Are you going to the bathroom?
Yeah.
On a jet plane?
You just make me sick.
So I'd like to see those kind of little house rules, but I get very concerned about what the kind of net result is when new people find us if we've house ruled stuff. Typically, it doesn't go down well. I've seen channels before use heavy house rules in different systems and come under a lot of criticism, and I don't want to put new people up. We want to attract new people to our channel and our community. You lot are fucking incredible. I want new people to come and find us and be part of your crazy gang in the chat over there. That's what I want to happen, ultimately. And I think house ruling makes that worse. I feel like if we're doing a stream where we try a thing like CP reroll once per battle is a test, we're doing it just this once, maybe that could work, possibly, I'm not sure. And I think it's more likely to be successful if it's a one-off, we're just trying this new thing. But I think for longevity's purposes, if we end up spending many months not playing an up-to-date version of the game in terms of at least core rules, even if we're not playing perhaps Prior Nexus, I think it's going to hamper us. I think it's going to end up being worse for us overall. So we'll see. I like the idea of using it and trying stuff like that. Crowdfund new people? I don't. I'd love to generate loads of extra revenue with no actual tangible reward for people, but I have this weird thing called a conscience. These models, by the way, we should be finished. We should have finished half an hour ago. I'm just enjoying this. It doesn't, it's got nothing to do with the fact that we're still about 40 off of the membership goal. I'm just enjoying this. Fucking stunning. Absolutely beautiful.
that kitchen smells really bad from all the glue that I spilled.
I'm sure it does. It's strong stuff, that glue, JJ. I said to chat, we should have been finished by now. We should have finished half an hour ago. But I'm just enjoying. Although we do need to finish because we've got to get you some food, and you've got to set up for tonight before I can go.
I do, yeah, I do.
I can't go home until you've set up.
Yeah.
But I really want to get this unit finished because they're fucking gorgeous.
Like me.
Fucking sexy. We should probably end it. It's 5:30.
I
think we're like 50.
What are we talking about?
2 members or something.
Did we say thank you to Tank the Unforgiving?
I think so. Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's see where we're at. Should we see what number we're on?
Let's go. Yeah.
Because it's either going to put pressure on or take pressure off you later.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't put pressure on us. You know.
60.
60.
Pressure's on, Joe.
Oh. We'll just put a target of 6.5 on, and then it'll be fun.
40 short, Joe. Pressure's on for you tonight, all right?
Yeah.
Okay, right. You people have been amazing. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today for the 2 hours of hobbying. How about your opponent picks your list and blind reveals it to you? See, that's the sort of thing I kind of like. I don't think it works so well on live, but I think doing that sort of shit for pre-recorded is pretty cool. Only because on live, to be able to be at the table ready to go, imagine if we had to deploy everything straight away as well. We end up extending the stream by half an hour to an hour, which is already bad when people like Brom are involved.
Yeah.
So
also, right, because the idea is essentially to fuck your opponent over, innit?
Yeah.
But the problem is that if you give your opponent a really shit list, but then your opponent gives you a shit list, but is actually all right, it's going to be a real quick game.
Yeah.
The wild level of imbalance means that the game could be over very, very quickly. At that point, it's almost pointless bringing it. Kai says Highlander. I like Highlander, but Highlander dies on its face when you get to armies like Weldiers.
Because they don't have as many options.
Because they don't have that many
or
options.
Votan.
Or Votan, yeah. So then you haven't got as many units on the table because you're literally maxing out like top level units. There isn't enough variations in some factions to have Highlander. Also, with some armies, it means that I'd have to paint more units.
But we could, if we're going to do a Highlander game, we can do that because we know we're doing it. We can do it and be like, okay, we're going to use this army and this army because it works.
Yeah.
So we don't use World Eaters, right? We use Guard and, I don't know, Tyranids or something.
Yeah.
Because we know we can do it and there's a degree of balance there, ultimately. So I think, again, this is the long and short of it. I was looking at these lists this morning. The long and short of it is, I think it's down to us now. We've made our feelings on 10th edition well and truly known.
Yeah.
I think it is a terrible edition. I think the game is dull, lacks flavour, and is boring. We've been very clear about how we feel. Well, I specifically have been very clear about how I feel about 10th edition. We can keep doing that and be negative for the next fucking 2 years.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get a new edition anytime soon.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's counterproductive. So instead, what we can do is we can go, we've decided that the game's shit. So how do we have fun?
Yeah, maybe when we run events here, we do Highlander tournaments.
I'm into it.
Don't come here to do competitive. You're well sorted out for competitive everywhere else. So when you come here, it's Highlander for 40k.
So I feel like now we're just in that position where we're like, you know what? We're gonna try and lead the way in having fun and enjoying ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Elect Man. He says, wish me luck, friends. I've got to finish Lord Commander Bastion and my Questor Soulsworn by mid-afternoon tomorrow.
Good luck, mate.
Good luck, mate.
What scheme are you painting them in?
I don't know. I painted them silver.
No, I'm asking him, you fucking blue Ned. I know what you painted them in because they're here.
Yeah, have you, Elect Man, have you got, what's her name? Black Talon. Her and her unit are mad good.
Are they?
Yes.
Exclamation mark gift.
Yeah. I read Black Talon's rules and I was like, because you can take her in the Sigmarites peoples.
So he's a Sigmar.
Stormcast.
Oh,
you take them in Stormcast as units,
or you can take them, her and her unit, as a special detachment.
Hallowed Knights, good man.
Yeah.
Good man. I love the Hallowed Knight scheme. I much prefer it to the gold.
Yeah. Thank you, Sir Galahad Grow Hunter. Says working lurking.
What a legend.
I haven't got that T-shirt yet. I need to get one. And then thank you, Johan. Says good luck tonight, Joe. Keep being awesome. All. I will try my very best. I'm playing Gamey Brom. He's bringing orcs, so I'll do my best.
I'm trying to calm everyone down a little bit, though. I'm trying to stop this gamey nonsense that's been happening lately.
Yeah.
With the super try-hard all the time.
You're the worst for it.
You fuck
You're
off.
like, turn 1, advance in charge. We're in combat now.
When did that last happen?
Last game.
No, it didn't.
This is the last game we played.
No, it didn't. I wasn't in combat turn 1 last game.
You're like, advance in charge, fight now. And then your sisters, you're like, fight, advance in charge, fight now. And then what it is, you're like, advance in charge, fight now.
Yeah, fun, isn't it?
Just makes me sad.
You make me sad.
Makes me sad. Yeah, that's it. We're done. I'm done. Finished.
You're what? Done?
Yeah.
Oh, I misheard you for a minute.
Yeah.
I was about to be like, oh, you finally admit it. Anywho, thank you, people, you wonderful people. Thank you for all the donations. Thank you for the gifts. We didn't hit targets today, but we don't hit the target on the Liam and Joe show anymore.
Thank you, Sir Galahad Grow Hunter. All my games, competitive, competitive or casual, has to be narrative. I want the best game possible for me and my opponent. It's a social contract, and crushing the opponent is meh. I don't know, it depends if you don't like him. If you want a bit. Thank you, Tribune, for becoming a scold.
He's murdering this, by the way. Thank you, Tribune. 61 members. Way! We only need another, 8 for 69.
Yeah. Mike the Vine says Joe uses a 5+ ward every turn and calls Liam yeah.
I'm aware, mate. I'm aware. I just didn't say anything.
Yeah, but my army doesn't function without it.
You guys can just watch what he says, listen to what he says, and be like, that's suspicious. And I'll just keep my mouth shut because I don't need to say anything because you can see it.
You're just jealous.
Yep.
It makes me sad. I'm not in a straitjacket, as someone said. Our cameras, whenever you put white on it, they're like, they just, it gets very bright white, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
This is more of a grey.
I turned the brightness down slightly, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I've got to cut another mat today as well.
Have you?
Yeah.
We've got some more coming.
I've been cutting up all the mats in the studio.
We have recently spoke to a company chat called urbanmats.com. Right? I urge you to check them out because we are like, cool. So we nervously approached AOS. I say we. Joe wanted to do all the things all the time because it's Joe. And I nervously approached AOS. I wanted to do AOS. I wanted to lean heavily into AOS. But I nervously approached AOS because I was like, it could fall flat on its arse. Our main content's 40k. We've built a channel on 40k. We've built an audience on 40k. Now, thankfully, you lot have popped off on the AOS streams. Tons of people are watching. Loads of new people have found us. Immense amounts of positivity. Loads of lovely comments. People are really enjoying the content. It's been an absolute light of positivity that's currently just outdoing the shadow that is 40k, and it's basically kept me fucking sane over the course of the last month and a half, which is amazing. But now I'm like, cool, it's here to stay. Now we need to expand. So we went out looking for fantasy terrain. We'll call it fantasy terrain. Terrain that is less of a sci-fi setting, more of a fantasy-based setting.
Yeah.
Found urbanmats.com, spoke to them. They're sending us a ton of stuff out to review and look at for the channel and to use on the channel. So I'd urge you to check them out because they're amazing. They're sending us so much stuff out, just so we can use it on the channel. They've offered us an incredible amount of support, and I only started talking to them last week, so really, really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good people. Check them out.
Yeah. I'll try and use some of their stuff in 40k as well, which I can.
I'm sure we'll be able to. I'm sure there's stuff that will work.
Yeah.
But if we can do well for them with the fantasy stuff, I'm sure we can also have a conversation like, your fantasy stuff's gone down really well. We'd now like to add some of your sci-fi stuff.
Yeah.
We've got some of it out there anyway. We've got it from before. So anyway, thank you for the 61 members. Thank you for all the super chats and all the donations and all the engagement. You people are incredible. Hopefully you'll come and join us tonight at 7:30, 19:30, 7:30 UK time for Brom versus Joe. Orcs versus Flesh Terrors, Mr. the Carlson deck. I'm going to try and take a night off. Please don't fuck it.
Why are you asking me that? Like, Kyle will be here, he could fuck it up. Brom could be here, he could definitely fuck it up.
Yeah, but you're the person in front of me right now. So please don't. Okay.
I will.
Thank you, wonderful people, for watching the stream. I hope you've enjoyed it. I think that's it. Oh yeah, tomorrow night, 8:30, after dark. Come join us for that one as well.
Yeah.
More mead, more fun, more banter, weekend time.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye. Have a wonderful time.